Hi everyone, welcome to Rodha. This is your very own Sanchit sir, and I have made a very special video for all of you. The title is 25 best top quant concepts. Now these concepts are like insane concepts because they can be a part of your checklist. इनमें सारे concepts पे checklist आप लगाते जाना and you will feel their importance whether you are preparing for CAT or ZAT or any of the other management exams. These are really special, insane concepts which have wide variety of applications. इतना help करेगी ये आपको, तो इस वीडियो को as a checklist use करिए. And if you want to study a course based on this video के prototype, so I have my very own Quants का concept capsules का course. Now this course is basically a 50 hours का revision वाला course. So every unit, every concept is being covered in this video. बहुत सारे बच्चों को प्रॉब्लम आती है कि सर रिवाइज कैसे करें लास्ट मोमेंट पे, राइट? सो दिस इज अ कोर्स बेस्ड ऑन द प्रोटोटाइप ऑफ दिस वीडियो. पूरा रिवीजन वाला कोर्स है, डिटेल्ड कोर्स है. 50 आवर्स में सब कुछ कवर हो जाएगा. यू कैन स्ट्रेंथन योर फंडामेंटल्स. इट्स वेरी एप्लीकेशन फोकस्ड. काफी सारे PYQs भी है, बहुत एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड है. एंड दिस इज अवेलेबल इन ऑल रोधा कैट कोर्सेज, वेदर यू गो फॉर कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव, इंडिविजुअल और मॉक्स. सबके साथ एज अ बोनस ये आपको मिल जाएगा. दिस इज ऑल्सो द पार्ट ऑफ द क्रैश कोर्स बैच बीइंग लॉन्च रिसेंटली. उसमें भी आपको QA का भी कॉन्सेप्ट कैप्सूल एंड VRC का भी कॉन्सेप्ट कैप्सूल मिल जाएगा. सो विदाउट फर्दर अड्यू, लेट्स स्टार्ट समथिंग स्पेशल. लेट्स स्टार्ट बेस्ट 25 क्वांट के कॉन्सेप्ट्स. ओके, द फर्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट इज, let's understand the first concept. Concept number 1 is a very important modulus property. What does the property say? Suppose if I have modulus of A plus B is given equal to modulus of A plus modulus of B. Now when this can be true, let us take some of the few examples to understand that. So the result, first let me write the result. The result is A into B product has to be greater than equal to 0. This is what has to be true for this modulus equality to be satisfied. Now how this works is, suppose let's take examples just to visualize it better. एक coordinate system में quadrants वाला system introduce करते हैं. This is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. Suppose that we visualize this setup. Now in the first quadrant, suppose this is A, this is B, both the numbers are positive. If both the numbers are positive, both of them are positive, then this will always be true. You can take an example. For example, if I take an example, 3 plus 4 modulus, that is 7 modulus, and what will be the RHS? RHS will also be 3 plus 4. There is no catch whatsoever. So they will be equal anyway. If both the numbers are positive, nothing to worry. And if both the numbers are negative as well, suppose I take minus 3 and minus 4, then also it will work. You can clearly check. If I go for the verification, I will get 7 here, I will get 3 plus 4, 7 here. So this will only work when both of them are either positive or both of them are either negative. One of them can be 0 as well, that works. But first or third quadrant में होना चाहिए, then only it will work. So we say कि इनका product should be non-negative. A into B should be greater than equal to 0. This is what is the concept is. This property has to be understood using these examples. What if I take one of the numbers to be positive and other to be negative? You can try yourself and see it will not work out in that case. So this is a very important, crucial property for the exam. Now let's do one of the questions based on this. So question says fx is being given to us, gx is being given to us, and that same property has been mentioned directly. You can clearly see modulus of A plus B is equal to modulus of A plus modulus of B. If and only if. So we know fx, A into B, fx into gx has to be greater than equal to 0. This is what is the solution. Now we can just substitute it here and just solve for it and we will be done, right? So this will make the process very easy, right? If we know the basics of this. So let me solve it up. I multiply it by minus 1 just to make 2x here. It will look better on the eye. I multiply both sides by minus 1. अब negative number से multiply करोगे तो inequality will get flipped. This will get flipped. I'll get something like this. Now obviously I can divide by 2 and 2, and I can divide it by 4, divided by 2, divided by 2. So it becomes x minus 5 by 2. Divide this by 2 and divide this also by 2, right? So it looks a bit better. I want x here. So 0 divided by 4 is 0 only. Now you can use your wavy curve method. What are the critical points? One of the critical points is 5 by 2, that is basically 2.5, and the other critical point is 7 by 2, that is basically 3.5. And using the wavy curve method, you can plot the favorable region. अगर आप 7/2 से कोई बड़ी वैल्यू इस बॉक्स में डालते हो तो साइन पॉजिटिव ही आएगा. सपोज आई पुट 10 here, so this is also positive, this will be positive here, then you pass the critical point negative, then you pass the critical point positive. So you can complete this sign scheme, and we want a region in which we have to take negative also and 0 also. So when this will be 0? At 5/2 and 7/2. And when will it be negative? In this region. So my answer is 5/2 to 7/2, both the endpoints would be included. So I have to use the square bracket. And if I have to write in the inequality format, I can say this one is my answer and this is the bracket format. So answer for this question will be option D. And you just got an example how a basic concept can be as it is utilized in a question. And if you know that concept, you can very well solve within 2 minutes. Okay. Now let's move on to the next concept. Okay. Concept number 2, we'll talk about SI and CI, simple interest and compound interest की basic working में क्या difference है. So it is very very interesting. Suppose simple interest में rate of interest है 10%. Try to understand this example, right? And you have given the money for 2 years. Okay. So first year you will get 10%, and second year you will again get a rate of 10%. Now your effective money will be addition of them, because all these 10% are on the initial principal, right? All these 10% are on the initial principal. So 10 plus 10, your money will get added up. 20% पैसा बन जाएगा आपका. Money will, you will just add 10 and 10. If this would have been 8, you can do 10 plus 8, whatever. Okay, if the rate is changing. But you just have to do plain vanilla addition here. यहाँ पर सिर्फ एडिशन कर सकते हो आप, उसी से बात बन जाती है. Now what about CI? Now CI is a bit typical one here. Now in CI, if the rate of interest is let's say 10%, you can't add it plain vanilla, because the second 10% is on the compounded amount. It's not on the initial principal, right? So you have to use the successive percentage here, or you can use the effective multiplier. Either you can do 1.1 into 1.1. You will get, if you multiply, you will get the effective multiplier to be 1.21. So you'll get your money to be getting 21%, है ना. तो यहाँ पर successive use करना है. Or you can also go for x plus y plus x into y by 100. So you can put 10 plus 10 plus 10 into 10 by 100. You will clearly see you will get 21 here, right? So here the idea is successive, being successive, right? Or you can go for the effective multiplier. That works also well. And here you have to do plain vanilla addition. So this is our base concept. I hope it is clear. Now let's do one of the questions on this so that we can even solidify this. Okay. The question is, for the same principal amount, the compound interest for 2 years at 5% per annum. Now just imagine compound interest, 2 arrows of 5% compounding. This is also 5% and this is also 5%. So you can use the formula 5 plus 5 plus 5 into 5 by 100, right? So how much are we going to get? We get, this is 10 and this is 0.25. I'll get 10.25% is the money being made here. You can replace this by a single arrow of 10.25%. This is what I means. Okay. Now let's go to the simple interest. Ab simple interest may happen. What happens is you are being given 3 years and 3% per annum. That means 3, 3, 3. You just have to add them, right? You will get one arrow of 9%. If it is a simple interest being, you just have to add plain vanilla add करना है यहाँ पर, है ना. तो यहाँ पर 9% पैसा ग्रो कर रहा है 3 सालों में, यहाँ 2 सालों में 10.25% कर रहा है ना. अब compound interest exceeds the simple interest by some amount. Okay, so I can say 10.25 minus 9. This is of the principal is same in both the cases. So can I say 1.25% of the principal? 1.25% of the principal is equivalent to 1125. Can I say that? So 100% of the principal will be equivalent to what? If I can get this, I can get my principal. So you can divide it by, I think, 1.25 and you can multiply by 100. Now there is a point here, so 2 zeros will also go like this. And then you can, let's say you will cancel it by 25. Suppose I cancel it by 25, I get 45, I get 5 here. and if I cancel it, I'll get 9 and I'll get 90,000 as the principal. So using again that base concept, how simple interest works and how compound interest works, I can manage this question. And this is a scaling wala concept which I have used. You can very well make equations as well. 10.25% of P minus 9% of P is equal to this. You can get P. That also works in exactly the same manner. No difference at all. So I hope these concepts you are able to catch them, and hopefully you will be able to apply them. This will be really useful for your exams. Okay. Now let's move on to the next concept. Now. Dekho, next concept is AMGM, HM inequality, but we are using AMGM here only. Suppose we have been given two numbers A and B, and these numbers have to be positive real numbers. This is the key idea. So their arithmetic mean will always be greater than or equal to their geometric mean, right? So what is the arithmetic mean? A plus B by 2 will always be greater than or equal to their geometric mean, that is under root of AB. This is the basic identity for two of the numbers. You can very well use it for three numbers. The numbers has to be positive, right? So this is the arithmetic mean. This is greater than or equal to geometric mean. Now how this can be used in a very basic manner in a question, we'll see. So let's do a question on it. The question is, if x and y are positive real numbers, as soon as you see these positive real numbers, you can think, okay, AMGM can come into play here, right? And x plus y is given to me 102, and you have to minimize this expression. So let's take the LCM here and let's start working on it. So I will write 2601. So I'll write x plus 1, and this will be, I think, y plus 1, and I'll get the denominator of x into y. Now if I just go for opening of these brackets, what I will get, 2601 x into y, then x into 1 is plus x, then y into 1 is y, and then 1 into 1 is 1 upon x into y. This is what I will get. Okay. Now x plus y is given to me already as 102. I can put 102 here. So I'll get 103 here. So I'll get 2601 x into y plus 103 divided by x into y, and if you want to divide also you can do that. So let me write it in this manner. Xy upon xy is 1, and it looks better this way, right? Now I have to minimize this. If I have to minimize this, x into y ki maximum value meko dalni, because this is in the denominator. Now what is the maximum value of x into y that I can put? So use the AMGM inequality in x and y. I'll get x plus y by 2 will be greater than or equal to under root xy. Now what is x plus y? That is 102. And I'm using AM is greater than or equal to GM here, right? So I think they will get under root xy will be less than or equal to 51. And if you square both sides, xy will be less than or equal to, I think, 2601. 51 ka square is, on squaring we'll get this. So xy की जो maximum value है वो 2601 आ रही है, that I can put here. So if I open this now, I'll get 2601 plus 2601 into 103 upon 2601. This is the maximum value of this. So basically 2601 plus 103. This is what I have to enter in the box because there is no option. So I will get 2704. Is everything correct here? Yes, looks perfectly fine. The answer for my question will be 2704. That is what we can enter. So you have observed again a very basic concept of AMGM can be used to solve such questions. Now let's move on to the next concept. So next concept is framing a time and work questions in a typical manner, which I will tell you, right? Suppose a line is given, A and B take 10 days to complete the work. Suppose something like this is given, right? This is the line being mentioned to you in a question. Now this is a very interesting framework that you can make to solve the questions as fast as possible. What you have to do, आपको करना क्या है? You just assume A's one day work. You just assume A's one day work as to be A variable only. So what will be A's 2 day work? It will be 2A. What will be A's 3 day work? It will be 3A. This is how the concept will look. And what will be B's 1 day work? You assume it to be the same letter. B's 1 day work is capital B. Now what will be B's 2 day work? 2B. What will be B's 10 day work? 10B. Right? Now how much work they will do in 10 days? So 10 days mein jo kaam karenge, that will be 10 times A plus B, because their 1 day work, A plus B's 1 day work will be A and B's together 1 day work will be obviously A plus B. Right? So 10 days work will be 10 times A plus B. So this is what will be the total work. This is what will be the total work of A and B. So total work को इस format में लिखना is again a crucial skill that we have to master. And if we can do this, we can do a lot of questions in time and work using this setup, right? Let us see an example. इस concept को एक example में लगाते हैं तो और solidify हो जाएगा और मजा आएगा इसमें, right? So suppose there is a question. Gautam and Suhani working together can finish a job in 20 days. So what I will assume? Gautam's 1 day work is G. 1 day work is G. And Suhani 1 day work is S. This is what I have to assume, right? This is what I will do using the same concept. Now how much work they will do in 20 days? They will do 20 times G. So total work भी लिख सकता हूँ मैं. What I can write? Total work here will be 20 times G plus S for sure. This will be the total work, right? If Gautam does only 60% of his usual work on a day, okay, so Gautam is doing only 60% of the usual Gautam. Assume Gautam is sick, so he's not operating at 100% efficiency. He's only doing 60% of his usual, and then Suhani must do 150% of her usual work on a day to exactly make up for it. Okay, so they are a team. Gautam and Suhani एक team है. तो generally Gautam and Suhani का 1 day work क्या होता है? In an ideal situation is G plus S. This is what is the 1 day work of Gautam and Suhani looks like. Now what we have to do? If Gautam does 0.6, if Gautam does 0.6, 60% is 60 by 100, 0.6. Then Suhani has to do 150% of. So Suhani has to do not S. Suhani has to do 1.5 times S to match this, right? This is how their 1 day work has to be getting matched. तो गौतम एंड सुहानी एक दिन में इतना काम करते थे, और अगर गौतम 60% करेगा और सुहानी अपना 150% करेगी तो वो उनका 1 वर्क डे मैच हो जाएगा दोनों का, है ना? इट इज बेसिकली इक्विवेलेंट. सो दिस इज व्हाट इज बीइंग मेंशन्ड हियर. And then obviously you can take it here, G minus 0.6 G will be, I think 0.4 G will be equal to, and 1.5 minus 1 will be 0.5 S. This is what you will get. Okay, so you'll get 4G is equal to 5S. You know? This is what you will get. This is how they are related. Now what, so you can also say कि G upon S is 5 by 4. So who is the better worker? Obviously Gautam. Gautam is a better worker, right? है ना? क्योंकि इनका ratio efficiency का 5:4 आ रहा है, right? Now he's saying then the number of days required by the faster worker. Now who is the faster worker? Obviously Gautam. Faster worker is Gautam here. In how many days Gautam will do the work working alone? Will finish the job working alone. So you have to convert this whole idea into how much G. This is equivalent to how much G. So S को आप G के terms में यहाँ डाल दो. S is I think 4G by 5. Right? If I take it here, S will be 4G by 5. If I put S is equal to 20 into G plus 4G by 5, right? So I'll get 20 into, I think 5 plus 4 is 9 by 5. 9 by 5G. So I will get this work is equivalent to 36G. Right? So this total work, now what is Gautam's 1 day work? Gautam's 1 day work is G. What is the total work? Total work is 36G. How much time Gautam will take to finish it? 36 days. So my answer for this question will be 36G divided by Gautam's 1 day work, and answer will be 36 days. So answer I can mention here is 36 days. So this is a very interesting concept, and this can be used in numerous time and work questions. Make sure you master this concept as far as all the other exams are concerned here. Okay. Now let's move on to the next concept. Okay. Now the next concept is area of segment. So how do we make a segment? Suppose I draw a circle. So suppose this is one of my circle, right? This is the circle, and for segment you have to draw a chord, right? So I'll draw one chord as well. Suppose I draw one of the chords. So let me draw one chord. Suppose this is one of the chords, right? And looks fine. So this is the segment minus segment. Suppose I have to get the area of this segment. And suppose this is the center of the circle. Suppose this is the center of the circle. This is the center of the circle. And I have to get the basically area of this segment here. Let us complete this diagram. Okay. So I make this like this, a radius, I make this as a radius. Now how will you get this area? Just try to imagine ये area आप कैसे निकालेंगे, right? So what you will do, you will get the area of the sector. How will you get the area of sector? Theta by 360 into pi r square. This is the formula for area of sector. And इसमें से we will have to reduce this area of triangle. That will be half AB sin theta. Half AB sin theta. Don't remember this formula, but you have to remember this concept. Okay, this is the concept for area of segment. This is the concept for area of segment. We have to remember this concept. Area of segment हम निकालेंगे कैसे? So a question can be asked in which area of sector can be asked, which is asked in numerous questions. And if the area of this segment is being asked, you get the area of this total sector and you subtract the area of this triangle using half AB sin theta and you get the area of segment, right? Let's do a question on this as well. You know? Now he's saying a circular plot of length is divided into two regions by a chord of length. Okay, there is some chord given to you such that this chord makes an angle of 120 degree at the center. So everything is in place. So again we draw a circle, we'll make a chord and the chord की length भी हमें दे रखी है. So this is, suppose this is what I draw as the circle and this is what is my chord is. So first let us draw the diagram here, right? Suppose this is my chord and it's making an angle of 120 degree at the center. Suppose this is the center roughly, right? It's looking like this, okay? This angle at the center is 120 degree. This angle is being given to me as 120 degree, right? Now chord की length क्या है? 10 root 3. So what you will do? You will drop a perpendicular from here, right? Like this you will do. And then this angle will be 60, right? So 10 root 3 is the length of the chord. So this will get bisected. Perpendicular from the center bisects the chord. So this will be 5 root 3 and this will also be 5 root 3. Okay, like that. Now just pay attention. Angle is 120. So उसको आधा कर दिया मैंने 60. This will be 30. I somehow need to get the radius. If I can get the radius, it becomes very easy. Or I can also say कि इस sector का area क्या होगा? What will be the area of this sector? I can do 120 theta by 360 pi r square. Right? This is the area of the sector. I just need this radius because I don't know the radius. That is the whole issue here. So what I will do, 60 के opposite अगर 5 root 3 है तो 30 के opposite क्या होगा? It's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And the ratio of the opposite sides are something like this. तो 60 के opposite root 3 होता है तो 30 के opposite 1 होता है. तो 60 के अपोजिट अगर 5 रूट 3 है और आपको इधर जाना है तो यू हैव टू डिवाइड बाय रूट 3. सो 30 के अपोजिट 5 होगा एंड 30 के अपोजिट अगर 1 होता है तो 90 के अपोजिट 2 होता है. सो 30 के अपोजिट 5 है तो 90 के अपोजिट उसका डबल होगा 10 होगा, राइट? सो द रेडियस इज 10. Once you know the radius, it's become very easy then you can easily crack it. So this is the area of the sector 1 by 3 pi r square, right? Now what will be the area of triangle? Half base into height works here. Need not go for half r into sin theta. So half 10 into sin 120 से बढ़िया तरीका क्या है? You can go for half, base is 10 root 3. This is the base and height is 5. This is much more comfortable, right? So understand the concept. Don't try to learn the formula, right? That works better in most of the cases. So you will get 100 pi by 3, right? Minus, I think 25, this will cancel, 25 root 3. This is what you're going to get. Now, just look at the options. 20 is being taken out there, 25 is being taken out. Can I say if I take 25 common, I'll get 4 pi by 3 minus root 3. You know? I think option C works very well for me. You know? So there is a concept called area of segment. This is the area we were looking for. And area of segment is being executed here. Area of segment. I hope it is clear. Again, a beautiful concept. Now let's move on to the next concept. Okay, next concept is shifting of power. Now what does it mean? Suppose I say the cube of 2 का cube क्या होता है? 8 होता है, right? Suppose I have to shift this power onto the next side. This is a very basic concept but a very useful one. Now you will ask me, sir, why I have to even shift it? Just the change of perspective maybe. So suppose I have to shift this 3 onto the next side. It will become reciprocal and we can do the process. If I have to get 2, I will get 8 की power 1 by 3. Right? Is the concept clear? Suppose x की power a is equal to y की power b. Suppose if you have to shift this a, you can do x is equal to y की power b upon a. What if you have to shift b here? अगर b को shift करना है तो x की power a by b will be equal to y. So this shifting concept is Very, very important. This shift plays a very key role. Let's do a question highlighting the importance of this shift. The question is, x is equal to 4096 की power 7 plus 4 root 3. Which of the following equals 64? Now, 64 and 4096 are related. How? 64 is basically 2 to the power 6 and 64 square is 4096. 4096 is basically 2 to the power 12. You have to remember these powers to identify this. So basically we know if we do 64 into 64, we are going to get 4096. So if you have to get 4096, you have to remove or shift this power. Power को shift करना पड़ेगा. So I will write 4096 raised to power 7 plus 4 root 3 is equal to x. Now because I need 4096, because if I can get 4096, I can very well get 64 because these two numbers are related. So what I will do, I will shift this power here. I'll get 4096 as x raised to power 1 upon 7 plus 4 root 3. And I can write this as 64 square, which I will do. Let me do like this. And what about this? Let's rationalize this. Because 1 upon an irrational term, I just feel it to rationalize it. तो इसको रैशनलाइज कर लेते हैं एक बार. इसके कॉन्जुगेट से ऊपर नीचे मल्टीप्लाई कर दो. सो 7 minus 4 root 3, 7 minus 4 root 3. Then the top will be 7 minus 4 root 3 and the bottom will be a plus b, a minus b. What is a plus b and a minus b? A square minus b square. I will get 7 square minus 4 root 3 का square. So I am going to get 7 minus 4 root 3 upon what is 7 square? That is 49. What is 4 root 3 square? That is 48. So this is 1. This is going to get wiped out. So I'll get x की power 7 minus 4 root 3. Now I can shift 2 as well because I somehow need 64 badly. So 64 अगर चाहिए तो मैं इसको भी shift कर लेता हूँ. ये भी reciprocal होके यहाँ पर आ जाएगा. And I can distribute it like this 7 by 2 minus power में 7 by 2 minus 4 root 3 divided by 2 will be 2 root 3. And then obviously I can write this as, because I know a की power m upon a की power n is a की power m minus n. Using this basic indices की property, I can very well write it like this just for the sake of options. So this is m minus n infinity. Just for the sake of options I have done this. Otherwise this was perfectly fine. So I hope you realize the importance of shifting in this question. Shifting is really, really important. Whenever you see some powers, you have to get this, you have to shift it here. Just take the reciprocal of it and get used to it, okay? Now let's move on to the next concept. Concept is time taken to meet. Now what does this concept say? Suppose this is a town P, this is a town Q. Person A is moving from P, person B is moving from Q, right? So they will meet at some point. This is the point of crossing, and the time taken to reach this point is denoted by T. Suppose they reach this point. Now A is moving in this direction and B is moving in this direction, right? Now the further time A takes to reach Q is called time taken by A, TA. And from the point of crossing, time taken by B to reach P is called time taken by B. So this is a very important relation. So that means the time taken to meet each other is equal to under root of TA into TB. Okay, this is an important relation. And their speeds VA and VB is also related to TA and TB using this relation. You have to remember these relations because questions will be based directly on them. Let's understand one example and let's try to see if this can be very useful for us. The example goes as it is. Okay. So he's saying Arvind travels from town A to town B and Survi travels from town B to town A. So the towns are being named A and B here, which is not a concern for us. Suppose I draw a line something like this. Suppose this is A and this is B. This is my town A and this is my town B. Now Arvind is traveling in this direction. This is how Arvind is going and this is how Surbi is going. Okay. Now both starting at the same time. Okay. After meeting each other, Arvind takes 6 hours to reach town B. Okay. Suppose they meet here and after this Arvind will take 6 hours to reach B. So this is the time taken by A, time taken by Arvind. And after meeting, Surbi takes 24 hours to reach town B. So this time is given to me as 24 hours, time taken by B. So what will be their time taken to meet each other? We can use the formula. Time taken to meet each other will be equal to under root of TA into TB. So this is the same formula I'm copying from there here, right? And we are not doing the derivations here, but you have to remember it because the application part is more important. So if we need to calculate now time taken to meet, अगर मैं इसे निकालूं, so time taken by A is 6 hours and time taken by B is 24 hours, and 6 into 24 is definitely 144, and under root of 144 is 12. That means they took 12 hours to meet each other. Both of them took 12 hours to meet each other. That means यहाँ से यहाँ अरविंद को आने में 12 hours लगे होंगे. Right? This is a 12 hours की journey for Arvind, and this is the 12 hours की journey for Surbi. And after 12 hours they were meeting at this point, and then they were continuing. Now let's try to solve the question. What is he asking? If Arvind traveled at a speed of 54 km per hour, the distance between town A and town B. So how much time has Arvind traveled for? Can I say 12 plus 6? Arvind has traveled for 18 hours. And what is the speed of Arvind? 54. So time into speed will give us the distance. That's it. So we will go 54 km per hour. And you can split 54 as 18 into 3. And what is the square of 18? You must be remembering these basic values. 324 into 3 will be 972 kilometers. That is what will be the answer of our question. Now let's move on to the next concept. So next concept is logarithms properties play. So what are some important properties of logarithm? So one of the important properties is, let's say log A plus log B will be equal to, suppose you can assume any base, let's say the base is n here, right? So you can say this will be equal to log A into B, right? This is one of the very crucial properties. And similarly, if someone has written log A minus log B and the base is same, suppose the base is n, so you can divide in the argument. You can write log A by B to the base n. And there's one more property, log A to the base A is always 1. This is again a crucial property. Now let's use these properties and let's try to unlock a question. Also, you should know how to convert logarithm form to exponent form. That is also very crucial. So one more important idea in logarithm is log A to the base n is, suppose let's say value c. So if you have to remove the log here, so you remove this, n to the power c will be a. So this is how you have to do this. These are the basic properties that you have to remember. Now let's work on their interplay and let's try to solve some question on this. Okay. So the question is, let x and y be positive real numbers such that log of x plus y to the base 5 plus log of x minus 5 to the base 5 is equal to 3. So I've been given log of x plus y plus log of x minus y, and both of them has a base of 5. Okay, base 5 equal to 3. Now because the base is 5, I can very well combine them. इनको combine कर सकते हैं और इनका product हो जाएगा. अभी हमने देखा. Now what is x plus y into x minus y? X square minus y square. This is an identity. So I can directly take the product of them, and next step I will write. So x plus y into x minus y will be x square minus y square. And let us do some of the steps directly, equal to 3. Now I will remove logarithm and convert it into exponent form. Exponent form में बनाएंगे. तो कैसे बनाएंगे? ये log आप हटा दो. 5 to the power 3 will be this. So x square minus y square will be equivalent to 5 to the power 3. That is basically 5 raised to power 3 is 125. So this is one of the box I am going to get. I think this portion is sorted. Now let's focus on this other portion, because there are two portions in this question. The second portion is log y to the base 2 minus log x to the base 2 is given as 1 minus log 3 to the base 2. What can be done here? We can combine it. So log y divide, because this is minus here, we can do log y by x to the base 2 is equal to, now 1 can be very well written as log 2 to the base 2. Why I am writing like this? Because I have to combine these two. And again 2 minus 3 will be log 2 by 3, base will be 2. And because the base is same, I can cancel the logarithm. I can say y by x will be 2 by 3. This is the ratio of y and x. Now you need to get the product x into y. Is there a way, very smart way? Yes. Y can be assumed as 2k and x can be assumed at 3k. And what is x square minus y square? So I can write x plus y into x minus y as 125. What is their sum? Their sum is 5k. What is their difference? Their difference is k is equal to 125, and I can very well solve it. So I think k square comes out to be 25, and k cannot be minus 5 now because x and y are positive real numbers, otherwise logarithm define ही नहीं होता. So k will be 5 here, and if I put k 5 here, I'll get this as 10, this as 15, and what he's asking me, what is the product of x into y? So what is 10 into 15, guys? What is 10 into 15? Answer should be, I think, 150. So these sort of questions are really important. These are all based on the interplay of the properties of logarithms. बहुत important है. Let's move on to the next concept now. Next we are talking about mark price and discount का flowchart. Suppose you have an object whose cost price is 100. Suppose you have any objects. Suppose you have a notebook or anything you can, or you can take a water bottle. ऐसे. Suppose you are selling a water bottle, right? And the cost price is rupees 100. This is the cost price of the water bottle. You are a shopkeeper. Assume that, right? Now, we'll not put a tag of 100 rupees on it. We'll put a tag which will have a way higher amount so that the customer will not be knowing कि 100 rupees का bottle है, right? This is what is your cost. है ना? So, let's put a mark price on this bottle of, let's say, 150 rupees. Okay. So, I have markup. This is called doing a markup. है ना? Just try to understand the flow of it. And the marked price of this water bottle is 150. So this is what is called the mark price or the tag price or the retail price or the MRP, whatever is in the question, or the list price, whatever you want to call. All these things are same, right? So this is what, and the markup is rupees 50 here. This is the markup, right? Because 100 पे मैंने 50 rupees बढ़ा के उस पे tag लगा दिया. Now if a customer comes, he will tell you, okay, this water bottle is quite costly. I want a 10% discount. So you will give a 10% discount on the mark price because this price is not visible to anyone. So if you give a 10% discount here, so 150 में से 15 rupees कम हो जाएंगे. So this is a 10% discount which I am taking. So discount is always calculated on the mark price. This is also a crucial concept, okay? Discount is always calculated on the mark price. Remember that. So 10% discount will happen on 150. That means 15 rupees कम हो जाएगा and rupees 135 में final deal हो जाएगी. This will be the selling price for me. And what will be my profit? This is what is my profit will be, right? Which is rupees 35 in this case. This will where my profit and profit percentage will come from. This is the markup. This is the discount. This is the mark price. This is the selling price and this is the cost price. Assuming you are selling, you are a shopkeeper and you are selling a water bottle. Now this flow chart that we have discussed here is very crucial in solving questions based on this. Let's do an example on a question based on mark price and discount. So this is the question. Now he's saying if a seller gives a discount of 45% on retail price, okay. Seller ने 15% का discount दिया retail price में, she still makes a profit of 2%. Okay, this much only you have to visualize first, okay. So now profit is given first, and suppose my cost price is 100. Let me assume that. I can assume that because all the data is in percentage. All data is given in percentage terms. Okay. I don't think it will make any change if I use my cost price to be 100. Now, every time you don't have to start in this direction. You can very well start in this direction depending on the question. So because the profit is given 2%, I will start in this direction, okay? So profit will be 2 rupees, definitely, because 2% of 100 will be 2 only. So what is the selling price for me? 102. The selling price for me will be 100 plus 2, 102. Now this selling price is obtained after a 15% discount on mark price. तो कौन से number को आप 15% कम करेंगे कि you will get 102. This is what is the task here. Then you will get the mark price. So this you can very well solve. X minus 15% of X should be 102. You can very well solve that. That means X minus 15 by 100 X should be 102. I'm using a very basic method. You can use multipliers. Directly you can do it. Okay. So I'll get 85 by 100 X is equal to 102. You can have written the multiplier directly to be 0.85 as well. That works. Now you can cancel it by 17. Okay, you can cancel it by 5 first. This is 17, this is 20, and this goes by 6. So the mark price comes out to be 120. So this box has to be derived and this comes out to be 120 if the CP is 100. So this is what is the meaning of the first line, and this is how we have interpreted it. Now what he's saying, which of the following ensures that she makes a profit of 20%? Now this is the cost price. If you have to make a profit of 20%, if you have to do a profit of 20% in the next case, अगर आपको profit 20 rupees का ही आएगा फिर 20% on 100, तो 120 पे ही sell करना पड़ेगा आपको. Now 120 was the mark price. That means there is no scope of any discount in this question. Now he's saying give a discount of 5%. No. Give a discount of 2%. No. Increase the mark price by 2%. No. Sell at the mark price. Retail price means mark price. Yes. If I sell at 120, my job is done and I will ensure there is no discount and whatever 20 is there to be captured will be my profit. So this is a concept on the flow chart of mark price and discount concept. I hope it is clear. Also the point to note is किसी भी डायरेक्शन में चार्ट बना के आप इसे विजुलाइज कर सकते हो. स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट विल बी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम क्वेश्चन टू क्वेश्चन, बट द चार्ट एंड द कॉन्सेप्ट रिमेन्स द सेम. I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the next concept. Then we move on to a regular hexagon, right? Now if I draw a regular hexagon, there are a lot of things I have to be careful on in hexagon, right? Suppose this is a hexagon if I draw. Now this will have 6 equilateral triangles. Okay, so there will be a symmetry and all the triangles, if you join this something like this, if you join this, all of them will have an angles of 60 degree. This is 60, this is also 60, this is also 60, 360 divided by 6. Okay, so there's perfect symmetry in this shape. If the side is A, all the angles will be 60 here. So area of this regular hexagon will be 6 equilateral triangles. This is the concept, 6 equilateral triangles. So इसका area अगर आपको निकालना है, so you can go for 6 into root 3 by 4 side square, A square. This is what will be the area of this complete hexagon. Obviously there will be some more nuances to it. The nuances being there will be a concept called short diagonal. So these are all short diagonals of the hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 one will be this, right? So these are 6 short diagonals. So you have to remember these are the 6 short diagonals. So what will be the length of these diagonals? The length of these diagonals, if the side of the regular hexagon is A, इनकी length होगी A root 3. This is very important, right? And what about these? These are the long diagonals. So there are 3 long diagonals. You can clearly see there are 3 long diagonals. And what would be the side of these long diagonals? Obviously 2A. Because if this is A, this is also A, this is also A, this is also A, this is A, this is A, this is A. So this will be 2A, right? All of them will be 2A. 2A each. So these things has to be remembered about the hexagon. Obviously the external angles is 60, internal angle is 120, which is being divided by into 2 halves by 60, 60. All the central angles are 60 as well. These are equilateral triangles. There are 6 short diagonals, length of each being A root 3. And there are 3 long diagonals, the length of each being 2A, where A is the side of the regular hexagon. Now let's do a problem to solidify this concept even better. The problem is, let ABCD be a regular hexagon. Let me draw the hexagon first. Suppose this is what I will draw the hexagon. Now I have to label it very carefully so that it is visually easy for me to solve. So AB or CD ka midpoint is given as P and Q. P is the midpoint of AB and Q is the midpoint of CD. So suppose this is A, suppose this is B, suppose this is C, suppose this is D, this is E, this is F. I have on purpose chosen the nomenclature to be like that because the midpoint of AB and CD looks visually very appealing now. This will be P and this will be Q. Now he's saying the ratio of area of trapezium PBCQ. Okay, so that means let me join this PQ line and okay, there is one hexagon as well. Okay, so if I join this line, I need the area of this trapezium here to the area of the hexagon. The area of the hexagon is already known to me. I know this area. This will be 6 into root 3 by 4 A square, 6 equilateral triangles. So denominator is quite sorted here, but the problem is numerator. I have to get the area of this trapezium somehow, right? And he has mentioned this will be a trapezium. Now this is the side A. Can I say this will be the long diagonal? So the length of the long diagonal will be 2A. This much I know. Now, this will be 1:1 because this is the midpoint and this is also 1:1. So that means this is the median of the trapezium. This A, B, C, D. So A, B, C, D is also trapezium और इस trapezium की median यानी इसका भी midpoint और इसका भी midpoint join करने वाली line PQ की length कैसे निकालोगे? इनके average. So PQ will be A plus 2A by 2. That means 3A by 2 will be PQ. Now I already have the parallel sides of the trapezium. What is the area of trapezium? Half sum of parallel sides A plus 3A by 2. I need the height somehow. I don't have the height right now. So what will be the height of this trapezium is the problem. Now what is this total height? If I have to get this total height, what will be this? This is A root 3. This is the short diagonal which we discussed previously. What will be the half of this? Can I say this will be A root 3 by 2? This much height will, because this total is A root 3 and there is symmetry. So the half of this will be A root 3 by 2. And because this is the midpoint, this was, these two triangles are again similar. So this will also be half of this. Okay. This is one part, this is two parts. So if this is one part, this is two parts. So you can even halve this to get this height. This will be A root 3 by 2 divided by 2. That means A root 3 by 4. This will be the height of the trapezium. So I can mention it here, A root 3 by 4. So what I get 5A by 2 by 2. So let me put everything here, half into 5A by 2 into root 3 by 4 times A. This is what I have to solve. So this is the ratio and this is my direct answer. Now everything get cancelled. This is cancelled. A square is also cancelled. So basically 5 upon 2 into 2 into 6, that is 4 into 6, that is 24. 5 is to 24. A option should be my answer here. So this is purely based on the understanding of a regular hexagon. Regular hexagon, regular octagon, these shapes are really important, and any direct question based on the internal working of them is expected in the exams. I hope this concept is clear. Let's move on to the next concept. Next concept is of common root. Suppose two equations have a common root. Suppose you have random equations. Let me write x square plus ax plus b is equal to 0. And the other equation is x square plus cx plus d is equal to 0. And there might be some more. Suppose they have a common root alpha. Suppose they have a common root alpha. Now, if the common root is given, it's well and good. Even if it is not given, you can assume the common root to be a variable called alpha. Now, what do you mean by a root? Root means that will satisfy both of the equations. So, concept क्या है कि common root को आप alpha मान के इन दोनों में satisfy करा दोगे. So, we'll get two equations, alpha square plus a. So, it will satisfy the base equations. जिनका वो root है. Then only it is root. Otherwise, there is no point of being root. So I will put alpha here. I will get alpha square plus a alpha plus b equal to 0 as the first setup, and then get alpha square plus c alpha plus d is equal to 0. Now I can add or subtract. I can do interplay based on these and solve the questions depending on what is being desired and what is needed. Okay. So you can add these equations, you can subtract, you can interplay, you can multiply 1 by 2, whatever is being asked or demanding of, depending on the question. Let's see one example to understand it even better. Let's go for the question. The question is, there are three equations here. X square plus mx plus 9 equal to 0, x square plus nx plus 17 equal to 0, and x square plus m plus nx plus 35 equal to 0 have a common negative root. They have a common and negative root is also being mentioned. Now we'll ignore the negative for the time being. We'll just keep it as a common root. Let the common root to be alpha. Let us name this root to be alpha. Now, if the root is alpha, it will satisfy all of the equations. This is what we have talked about. यही बात करी थी हमने. तो alpha को हम यहाँ डाल देते हैं. So, if I put alpha in the first equation, I will get alpha square plus m alpha plus 9 equal to 0. If I put alpha in the second equation, I will get alpha square plus n alpha plus 17 equal to 0. And if I put alpha in the third equation, which I am doing separately, alpha square plus m plus n alpha plus 35 equal to 0. Now, seems fine for me. Now, you have to get m and n. Now, what can be done here? First target is, so our target is the common root. What if I add these equations? I will get a term called m plus n, which is common here, and then I can subtract them to get alpha. This is what I will do. So, I'll add them. I'll get 2 alpha square plus m plus n alpha plus 26 equal to 0. Now, what if I subtract these two equations? So, let me write them separately and let's do a subtraction. तो इसके नीचे हम ये ले आते हैं alpha square plus m plus n alpha plus 35 is equal to 0. Now I will subtract them, and if I subtract them, I'll get 2 alpha square minus, the sign will change everywhere. So I'll get 2 alpha square minus alpha square, that is alpha square only, this will cancel. And 26 minus 35 is minus 9 equal to 0. That means alpha square is 9. So alpha can be 3 or alpha can be minus 3, plus minus 3. But the common root is negative. This is the interesting part. That means this cannot be the case. Alpha is minus 3. That means minus 3 is our common root. अब हमने common root को unlock कर लिया या पहचान लिया. Once we know the alpha is minus 3, we have to get m and n, remember, to solve this question. So I can put alpha in first in this equation. I will get minus 3 square minus 3m plus 9 equal to 0. That means 3m will be equal to 9 plus 9, 18. That means m comes out to be 6. Similarly, if I put alpha in this equation, second one, so I'll get minus 3 ka square minus 3n plus 17 equal to 0. So 3n comes out to be 9 plus 17, that is 26. So n comes out to be 26 by 3. So these are the important values. Now I can get my answer. It's fairly easy for me. So 2m plus 3n kya aayega yaar? 2 into 6 plus 3 into 26 by 3. This will cancel. So this 12 plus 26, basically 38 will be the answer of this question. So the concept highlighted here being the interplay of the equations. Once you have put alpha into them, and then whatever interplay is demanded, you have to do it to solve the question. Let's see the next concept. So next concept पे चलते हैं. Next concept is based on the basic graphs. Now you have to remember these graphs. For example, this is the graph of y is equal to x. It's a straight line, right? There's a graph, there's a parabola y is equal to x square. It's a symmetrical graph, even function. This is the graph of y is equal to x cube. X cube वाला ग्राफ है, x square वाला ग्राफ है. This is the graph of modulus of x, again an even function. जैसा इधर है वैसा इधर है. You can see. Then this is under root of x का graph, something like this. This is a rectangular hyperbola, y is equal to 1 by x. Okay. This is sin x, sine wave, right? It's a periodic graph. This is cos x. Sine को ही 90 degree पीछे shift कर दोगे तो cos x आ जाएगा. And the next graph is exponential graph, right? So these graphs का interplay can be asked. Okay, this is the exponential rising function. Now let's do a question to understand how these basic graphs can help you solve a lot of questions. So this is the question. So he's saying this equation 2 की power x minus x square equal to 0. So basically we have to solve 2 की power x is equal to x square. इसके कितने solutions होंगे? 3 real solutions, 2 real solutions, 1 real solution, no real solution. This is what is being asked here. Now we'll have to compare them very carefully. Now this is an exponential function. This is the parabola, right? 2 की power x is an exponential function. Exponential function. And x square is a quadratic parabola, right? It's a parabola, है ना? So x square graph तो बहुत आसान है. So 2 की power x का एक बार अपन rough, if we go for the diagram, एक बार देखते हैं अपन. Suppose these are my axes. Suppose ऐसा कुछ मैंने axes बना लिया. Now what you have to, अच्छा axes हम थोड़ा इधर बना लेते हैं because पहले तो ज़्यादा कुछ होगा नहीं interplay, right? Now exponential function is, suppose this is y is equal to x square. This is the graph of y is equal to x square. So this is y is equal to x square. Suppose this is the graph of, okay, this is y is equal to x square. So this is the origin 0, 0. Now 2 की power x is the exponential function. We have just seen it. It is a continuously rising graph and it keeps on rising very fast later on. So जब आप 2 की power x बनाओगे तो एक जगह तो, because when you put x equal to 0, if you put x equal to 0, this comes out to be 2 की power 0 comes out to be 1, right? So it will be somewhere here. So it will keep come like this, and it is rising, right? It will be coming like this, and this point will be 1. So I will definitely get one solution here. I will definitely get one real solution here. Now that solution I am not finding out because the question doesn't ask me the exact solution, but I know there will be one solution because it's a rising graph. It's an increasing function. And it will come. Now, where will be the second solution? Now, second solution you can find out if you pay attention. What if you put x equal to 2 here? You will get 2 की power 2s 4 and 2 का square, x square is also 4. The next solution will come when x becomes equal to 2. Suppose this is where the next solution comes, so this point will be 2, 4. This point will be 2, 4. This is what we can know because these are basic values. 1, 2 आप put करके आराम से देख सकते हो, है ना? This is one of the solution. But the exponential graph will keep on rising very fast. Now it is rising, initially it is rising slowly, but after 1 is being crossed, the rising power will keep on increasing, right? Now, is there any other point where it will catch? Yes. Let us put x equal to 4 now. If I put x equal to 4, yeah, let us put x equal to 3 first. What happens at 3? 2 की power 3 and 3 का square. So 3 का square is dominating. 9 is greater than 8. That means the parabola is above at 3. 3 वाले point पे parabola ऊपर है ना? Now what if I put x equal to 4? If I put x equal to 4, again the equality will come. 2 की power 4 and 4 square. So 16 equal to 16. मतलब एक और solution आ गया. X equal to 4, एक और solution आ गया. Suppose this is 4, 16. This is the next solution. And if you cross 4, if you go to 5, you will get this as 2 की power 5, that is 32, which will be greater than 5 की power 2, which is 25. That means the red graph is now ahead. So it will go something like this. Okay, it will take a turn here and it will rise at a very fast pace now, right? Now how many solutions are you able to spot? This is one of the solutions where the graphs are intersecting. So intersecting points देखना है. So this is one of the intersecting point. This is second of the intersecting point. This is third of the intersecting point. These 2 points I am able to calculate also because of the very simpler values. So I can say exactly 3 real solutions, because now the rate of increase of the exponential is very high. It will never catch this later on. So there are 3 solutions. One is x equal to 2, one is x equal to 4, and one is x negative x I will get definitely. If you know the basics of the graphs, you can solve these questions. So basic graphs must है, आपको सारे आने चाहिए, so that you can interplay on the graphs as well. I hope it is clear. Let's move ahead to the next concept. Beggar's method. Very important idea in modern maths, that is permutations and combinations. What does it say? Suppose you have to, this is based on distribution of identical objects into groups. Distribution of identical objects into groups को highlight करता है. Identical objects into groups. This is what it talks about. Beggar's method. Suppose you have been asked number of solutions of x1 plus x2 plus ... xr is equal to n. So basically you have n identical coins. This means you have n identical coins and you have to distribute them among r persons. You have r persons to distribute them. So if everyone is happy to take more than one, obviously integral values we are talking about. So if all these values are more than 1, this is also greater than equal to 1. So number of solutions is given by n minus 1 cr minus 1. This is the concept. This is the first case where everyone has to be given at least one object. सबको एक ना एक coin तो चाहिए. Now the second case of the Beggar's method is, suppose you have the same situation, x1 plus x2 plus ... xr, r people, n identical coins, but you can give anyone any number of objects. Anyone can be given 0 as well, right? So if you can you have that freedom to distribute, then the number of solutions will be n plus r minus 1 cr minus 1. So this is what is the crux of the Beggar's method. You have to remember the 2 cases, and there might be a case which calls you to think even further on the application of them. Let us see one such case. Okay, so the question is, you have 4 people here and you have 50 coins, identical coins to distribute, right? So you have 4 people here, x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 is equal to 50. That means 50 identical coins हैं, है ना? यही हमने पढ़ा अभी. And you have 4 people here, 4 persons are there जिसमें आपको distribute करना है. In how many ways you can distribute is the number of solutions of this. But यहाँ पर सबके अलग अलग नखरे हैं, सबके अलग अलग demands हैं. So x1 is saying I will take 1 or more. This one is saying I will take 1 or more. x2 is saying I will take 2 or more, right? x3 and x4 are सीधे बच्चे, ये दोनों अच्छे बच्चे हैं ना. These are regular people. They are not concerned about कि हमें कुछ चाहिए ही चाहिए. They are like कि इनको पूरा freedom है कि कुछ भी दे दो हमें चलेगा, right? है ना? Obviously integral solutions की बात होती है, decimal values हमें नहीं लेनी है यहाँ पर. Now what I will do, I will have to slightly modify my Beggar's method. So I'll go to the first student and I will put 1 in his pocket. Similarly, I will go to the second student and I will put 2 in his pocket, 2 of the coins. So the coins will now reduce to 47 only. And now I will distribute them in whatever way I want. Suppose now out of these 47, I give 0 to the first person. But I will say to him, check your pocket, you already have 1. So he will be satisfied. Even if I give him 0 now, he will be satisfied, right? So this is the solution of our problem. So now you have 47 identical points and you can distribute them in any order. You have the complete freedom. So we'll apply the formula n plus r minus 1 c r minus 1. So you have 47 coins, 47 plus 4 minus 1 c 4 minus 1. So basically 50 c3 aa jayega. You get 50 c3. And what is the formula for NCR? That is n factorial, n minus r factorial, and r factorial is the formula for NCR. So 50 c3 को solve कर लेते हैं. 50 factorial upon 50 minus 3, 47 factorial and 3 factorial. Now I can cancel it. I'll get 50 into 49 into 48 upon 6. 6 से cancel कर लो, 8 आ जाएगा. This is 400. 49 into 400. What is 49 into 4? This is 196. 19600. Is there any option? Yes, C option works perfectly fine for me. So this is again a beautiful application of Beggar's method, but slight variation is being given here. I hope it is clear. Let's now move on to the next concept. Next concept is an application of successive percentage change. Suppose area of rectangle हमें निकालना है, and area of rectangle आप जानते ही हैं, area of rectangle is what is given by L into B. This is what it is. Suppose you increase the length of the rectangle by 20%. You increase the length of the rectangle by 20%. And the width of the rectangle you increase by, let's say, 30%. Now, what will be the change in the area of the new rectangle? New rectangle will be comparatively bigger because length also have increased by 20% and width also have increased by 30%. तो जो नया rectangle आएगा वो काफी बड़ा होगा. Now, what will be the change in the area of the new rectangle as compared to the previous rectangle? So when product is being mentioned, you can just take the successive of these changes and get the net effect on the area. Now what is the formula for successive percentage change? Suppose there is a change of x% का increase है और दूसरा वाला increase y% का है. So the formula net increase अगर आपको निकालना है, it will be x plus y plus x into y by 100. This will be the net increase. Now remember, this is only applicable for two successive percentages. If you want to try your hand here, what you will do? 20 plus 30 plus 20 into 30 by 100. You can very well do that. So you'll get, this is I think 50 and this comes out to be I guess 6. So you'll get a net increase in area of 56%. You can say कि जो area of rectangle है, अगर length 20% से बढ़ाते हैं और width 30% से बढ़ाते हैं, तो area of rectangle 56% से बढ़ जाएगा. This is the core concept. Now the key part here is, even if this chain continues, you can keep on taking the successive of all the entities, you will get the net effect on the area. This is the concept. Now let's do one question on this to even solidify this concept. The question is, in a village, the production of food grain increased by 40%. So it's talking about production of food grains. That is one variable. Then other variable is per capita production of food grains, right? Now what is per capita? Do you know the meaning of per capita? If I say, what do you mean by per capita production? Per capita income, you must have heard that. Hai na? So you have to do total production. You have to do total production upon total population. This is what is the meaning of per capita production. है ना? एक जने पे कितना average production हो रहा है. That is the meaning of per capita production. So I can calculate total production कितना है, because I need that multiplication format. Something equal to something into something into. I need this chain. So I'll go for total production. I can write total production. I can very well frame this as total production will be equal to per capita production into total population. This is what it will become. So this is the same thing now. Now what is being given to us? The production of food grains 40% से बढ़ रहा है. ये 40 net effect हमें पहले से पता है. This has to be 40. Per capita production is increasing by 27%. This is increasing by 27%. The percentage by which population of the village increases nearest to. Now you can just use the options as well. I can clearly see an option of 10. Suppose I put this 10 here, and if I apply the successive to these two, will I get 40? My answer is yes. You can have a go. X plus y plus x into y by 100. You will clearly see this is 37 and this is 2.7. So you will get 39.7, which is closest to 40. So you can clearly tick the answer to be C. Now the question arises, so what if the options are not given? Can I solve it manually? Yes, you can very well do that. Suppose you can assume this to be x and you can apply the formula a plus b plus a into b by 100. This is the successive of these two values, will be equal to 40. And you can very well solve this and get the value of x to be 30, x to be 10. Sorry, the value of x to be 10, right? Okay. Nearest to 10, not exactly 10, but somewhat nearer to 10. You have to choose the best option possible. Answer इसका C आ जाएगा. I hope इस successive percentage का application समझ में आया होगा. This is again a very interesting idea. Now we talk about average speed. Now average speed is not the averages of the given speed. You don't have to pick the speeds and take out their average. कि ये speeds दे रखी है, इनको add करो, divide by the number of speeds. This is what it is defined. So how is the average speed defined? Average speed is defined as, so you have to get the total distance covered in your journey. What is the total distance covered in the journey? Now journey can be in the various parts as mentioned in the question, right? And the denominator will be total time taken in your journey. So this ratio of total distance when divided by total time will give you the average speed. And it is not the average of the given speeds, not the average of the given speeds, है ना. ऐसा नहीं है कि एवरेज लिखा है स्पीड के आगे तो स्पीड का ही एवरेज ले लिया है ना. दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट, है ना. अगेन विल डू वन क्वेश्चन टू गिव यू द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ दिस बेसिक फॉर्मूला. हाउ विल हैव टू अप्लाई इट, विल लुक यूजिंग वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल्स. सो एग्जांपल इज लाइक दैट. अ हेलीकॉप्टर फ्लाइज अलोंग द साइड्स ऑफ अ स्क्वायर फील्ड ऑफ साइड लेंथ 100 किलोमीटर्स. तो एक हेलीकॉप्टर फ्लाई कर रहा है स्क्वायर के अराउंड, है ना. आई थिंक सारी साइड्स के अराउंड ही कर रहा है. So first I will make a square, and I will make a square. Suppose this is what is my square is looking like, है ना. Suppose this is 100 kilometer, right? This is also 100 kilometer. This is also 100, because it's a square, so all the sides will be equal, right? Suppose I'll start from here, right? The first side is covered at the speed of 100 kilometer per hour. Okay, the speed is given, है ना. तो पहला वाला जब आप जा रहे हो, ये वाला जा रहे हो, तो यहाँ स्पीड आपकी है 100 किलोमीटर पर आवर व्हेन यू आर गोइंग लाइक दिस. वंस यू आर गोइंग लाइक दिस, योर स्पीड इज, एंड फॉर ईच सब्सिक्वेंट साइड द स्पीड इज इंक्रीज बाय 100 किलोमीटर पर आवर टिल इट कवर्स ऑल द साइड्स. दैट मीन्स ऑल द 4 साइड्स विल बी कवर्ड एंड द स्पीड विल कीप ऑन गेटिंग इंक्रीज बाय 100. सो 100 प्लस 100 200 किलोमीटर पर आवर. यहाँ पे स्पीड ये हो जाएगी. देन 200 प्लस 100 विल बी 300 किलोमीटर पर आवर. यहाँ स्पीड 300 हो जाएगी. And when you are returning at the last side, the speed will be 300 plus 100. It will be 400 kilometer per hour. This is what it will look like, है ना. Now the average speed of the helicopter is. Now he is saying average speed मतलब पूरी journey की average speed बतानी है. तो average speed जैसी हमने देखा, हमने फॉर्मूले की तरफ गए. What is the total average speed is total distance covered, that is 100 100 100 100. Can I say total distance will be 400 kilometers? For sure you have to take care of the units as well. And how much time is taken here? So you can go for distance upon speed. You can clearly see 100 upon 100. पहली साइड को कवर करने में 1 hour लगेगा, है ना. देन दूसरी साइड को कवर करने में 100 upon 200 you will take half of an hour. How much time it will take to cover the third side? 1 by 3. 100 upon 300. And how much time it will take to cover the fourth side? 100 upon 400. 1 by 4. Right? Now I can multiply the I can take the LCM to be 12, है ना. यहाँ डिनोमिनेटर्स को उसको सॉल्व करना है. So this is hours, है ना. तो my answer will be in kilometer per hours, but all the options have kilometer per hours, so that is not a problem. So if I take the LCM now of 12, this becomes 12. This I multiply by 6. This I multiply by 4. This I multiply by 3, and the denominator comes out to be 12, which I can transfer here. So it becomes 400 into 12, and I get 25 here. If I cancel 400 by 25, I get 16. And what is 16 into 12? 160 plus 32. 16 into 10 plus 16 into 2. 192. My answer will be 192 kilometer per hour. kmph. Now, this is a basic concept based on the idea of average speed. Let's move on to the next concept. Next concept is a relation between the sides of a quadrilateral. Suppose I make the quadrilateral. Suppose I make a random quadrilateral. This is what I have made. Suppose this is my quadrilateral. The side is, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Now we know in a triangle, sum of any two sides is greater than the third side. Suppose I make this diagonal. Suppose मैं diagonal बनाता हूँ यहाँ पर ना. देखना आप ध्यान देना. It's very interesting. Suppose I label it to be x. Now if I apply the relation in this triangle, can I say my a plus b will be greater than x because these a, b, x are the sides of the triangle. So sum of two sides is greater than third side. In a triangle, I can say that. This is a property of triangle and I have made a triangle, right? Similarly, in the second triangle also I can say that the sum of the two sides x plus c will be greater than d. X plus c will be greater than d. Now, x plus c is greater than d and x is smaller than a plus b. What if I replace x by a plus b? See, a plus b x से बड़ा है और x plus c d से बड़ा है. तो अगर x की जगह में a plus b डाल दूं तो इनइक्वालिटी अभी भी सेटिस्फाई होगी क्योंकि x plus c ही d से बड़ा है और x खुद a plus b से छोटा है. So what if I replace x by a plus b? This will still stand because x से तो हमने तो कुछ ज़्यादा ऐड कर दिया. So a plus b plus c will be greater than d. So this is the relation you get. Now you can do it for any of the sides. That means if d is the longest side, of the quadrilateral, it will always be less than the sum of the other three sides. You can write it for c here, you can write it for a here, you can write it for a. Any side of quadrilateral will be less than the sum of the other three sides. So if you can apply it for the longest side, will ensure the condition is satisfied, right? So the longest side of the quadrilateral will be less than the sum of the other three sides. This is what is a very important property as far as the quadrilateral sides is concerned. How do we derive it? Using the property sum of any two sides of triangle is greater than the third side. ये property को use करके हमने ये यहाँ पर set कर लिया है. Now let's again do a question and let's try to apply this कि apply कैसे करना है हमें, है ना? Because apply करेंगे जब ही समझ में आएगा. So let's go for the application part, which is much more interesting. Now it's saying the length of all four sides of quadrilateral are integer. Okay. If three of the sides are 1, 2, 4, the total number of possible length of the fourth side. Okay. Suppose the fourth side is x. And suppose case 1 ऐसा बनाते हैं. Case 1 हम ऐसे बनाते हैं कि 4 is the longest side. 4 से बड़ी साइड नहीं होगी. Remember, सारी साइड इंटीजर वैल्यूड है. दिस इज रियली रियली इंपॉर्टेंट, है ना. सो पहला मैंने केस ये बनाया कि 4 इज द लॉन्गेस्ट साइड. नाउ द सम ऑफ द थ्री साइड्स विल बी ग्रेटर देन 4 बिकॉज 4 इज द लॉन्गेस्ट साइड. सो 4 विल बी लेस देन द अदर थ्री साइड्स. सो अदर थ्री साइड्स इज 1, 2, x and 4. So 1 plus 2 plus x. That means x plus 3 is greater than 4. That means x is greater than 1. Now which all values of x can happen because x has to be an integer. So I can take x is equal to 2 works, x is equal to 3 works and x equal to 4 works. So I can take x equal to 2, 3, 4 भी रख सकते हो because दो बराबर साइड भी हो सकती है. There is no issue in that whatsoever, है ना. So I get 3 values of x which are working for me in this case, है ना. Let's go for case number 2. Now case number 2, let's assume x to be the longest side. Longest side को अपन x ही मान लेते हैं इसमें ना. Suppose x is the longest side, then the sides will be 1, 2, 4 and x. Now again the sum of the three sides will be greater than the fourth side. So the longest side will be less than the sum of the other three sides. I can apply the same relation here. So x किससे कम आएगा? 7 से कम आएगा. तो x अगर 7 से कम आएगा तो x can be 4, which that case but we have already taken here, right? तो 4 नहीं लेते. X can be I think 5 and 6, है ना. These two cases are mutually exclusive to this one because we cannot count the same case again and again, right? So I think आप 5 और 6 ले सकते हो. So how many possibilities of different values of x you are getting? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So answer for my question should be option number B. Definitely there are 5 different values of x that would work to make a quadrilateral, which is perfectly fine because that is satisfying the relation that we have just studied. I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the next concept of the day. Okay. Now algebraic identities are really important. Suppose a plus b square is being asked. So you can go for if a plus b square is being asked or a minus b whole square. So these all things you have to remember. A plus b square is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Sometimes question can be very elementary on the application of the identities. So a minus b whole square will be a square minus 2ab plus b square, right? what is a plus b whole cube? So you can write a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b. Similarly, what is a minus b whole cube? That will be a cube minus b cube minus 3ab a minus b, right? What is a square minus b square? A square minus b square is a plus b into a minus b. These are very popular ones. And similarly, you can also derive these ones. You can also derive these one. A cube plus b cube will be a plus b a square minus ab plus b square, right? Similarly, we can go for this one. A cube minus b cube will be a minus b a square plus ab plus b square, and so on. You can also have a plus b plus c whole square, and so on, so on. There are many more, but these are the very basic fundamental ones. Now the question can be framed on the interplay and usage of these identities as well. Let us look at that question and let us solidify this concept now. The question is saying to us, p square plus q square minus 29 is equal to 2pq minus 20 is equal to 52 minus 2pq. Now if I just equate these two, just do that. So what I will get 2pq, because I need to product, and let's first calculate the product. So I can take it here and I can take it here. That means 4pq comes out to be 72 and pq comes out to be 18. So this is a very crucial information for me. This much I have derived. Now if I put this value of pq here, I'll get 2 into 18 minus 20. That is 36 minus 20. That means this will be equal to 16. This will be equal to 16. So what I will get, p square plus q square minus 29 is equal to 2 into pq, that is 36 minus 20, that is 16. So basically p square plus q square comes out to be 29 plus 16, that is 45. Now I'll stop here. I will not move ahead. I'll stop here because I have already got this. I've got this. Now he's saying, give me the difference between the maximum and the minimum possible value of this guy. Now I can apply this identity here, a cube minus b cube. So let's go for the identity first and let's think about the maximum and minimum case later on, है ना? तो यहाँ पर identity लगाते हैं. So this is a cube minus b cube. So I'll go for a minus b. I'll go for a minus b, right? I'll go for a square plus b square plus ab. This is the identity. Now pay attention. I already know this. This guy is 45. I already know this. I also know this guy. This guy is 18. So what is 45 plus 18? So that will be 63. So I know this term has to be 63. So we just need to get the maximum value of p minus q and the minimum value of p minus q, and I have substituted here to get the maximum and minimum respectively. So equation becomes very easy now. Now I can calculate the square of this guy. So what I will do, p minus q square is equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab. This is again an identity. Now this guy is 45 and this guy is minus 2 into 18. So basically 45 minus 36, I will get 9. 45 minus 36. So I'll get p minus q square equal to 9. So p minus q की as expected दो values हो सकती है. So p minus q can be 3 और p minus q can be minus 3 as well. तो अगर आपको इसकी maximum value चाहिए, so it will be 63 into 3. And अगर आपको इसकी minimum value चाहिए, that will be 63 into minus 3. And what is the gap between them? What is the difference between them? Obviously 63. अगर आप इसमें से इसको minus करोगे तो minus minus plus हो जाएगा. So 63 into 6. That should be the answer. That should be 378 in my opinion, right? So B option should be the answer here. So this is purely based on the algebraic identities and their usage. Very important for us. Let's now move on to the next concept. Okay, so the concept is called long division method. Suppose let's do an example of it and then we'll see the application as well. Suppose this is the dividend and this is the divisor. So you have to divide 3x square plus x minus 1 by this x plus 1. So how will you divide? You will write 3x square plus x minus 1 has to be divided by x plus 1. So first of all, पहला step ये है कि x को किससे multiply करें कि 3x square बन जाए? Obviously 3x. So I'll just look at this and just look at this. You will observe I have to multiply it by 3x. So 3x is the first part. Now x into 3x will be 3x square and 1 into 3x will be 3x. So I have to write plus 3x here. and then I will subtract. So this will go away. Now x minus 3x will be minus 2x, and this will come as it is. Okay. Now I have to eliminate this guy, right? So x को किससे multiply करें कि minus 2x बने? You will say minus 2 से multiply करो. So x into minus 2 will be minus 2x, and 1 into minus 2 will be minus 2. Again minus का plus और minus का plus sign change हो जाएगा. This will go, and 2 minus 1 will be 1. So there, this will be the remainder. This is what is the remainder. This is the divisor. This is the quotient, and this is the dividend. This is how it works. This is the dividend. So ये long division method है. अब ये काफी useful है. How it is useful? A question can be directly based on this. कि अगर मुझे long division करना आता है तो I can execute the questions within the time limit. Let us see an example of that. एक बार example देखते हैं तो अच्छे से समझ में आएगा. Suppose this is a question. Now question says this equation has minus 2 as one of the roots. This is a cubic equation. Cubic equation के 3 रूट्स होते हैं टोटल उन, बिकॉज पावर 3 है, राइट? सो जितनी पावर इतने टोटल रूट्स. अब उनमें से एक रूट आपको दे रखा है, मतलब देयर विल बी 2 more roots and the other 2 roots are real. This is also being, all the 3 roots are real, that means, because minus 2 is a real number. So all the roots are real. One of the real roots is given to you out of the total 3 which will be real as per the question. So if minus 2 is one of the roots, that implies x plus 2 will be a factor, right? इसका मतलब ये है कि x plus 2 एक फैक्टर होगा. अगर x plus 2 एक फैक्टर होगा तो इसको इससे डिवाइड करेंगे तो बाकी फैक्टर्स भी आ जाएंगे. Let's do that. That will be a fun part. So x cube plus 2r plus 1 times x square plus 4r minus 1 times x plus 2 को मेरे को डिवाइड करना है. I have to divide this by x plus 2. Let's go for it. So I will use the same process which we have just studied. So अगर x से x cube बनाना है तो I will multiply by x square. If I multiply them, I will get x cube, and then 2 into x square will be written here, right? And then I will subtract it. This will go away. Now what is 2r plus 1 minus 2? Pay attention. 2r plus 1 minus 2. That will be 2r minus 1. So it will be 2r minus 1 x square, है ना? And these will be coming as it is 4r minus 1 x. और ये पूरा भी डिवाइड होगा. क्यों? क्योंकि ये तो फैक्टर है ना. It is a factor, so there will be no remainder now, but we have to still see the quotient. Now next term will be, I have to I think multiply it by 2r minus 1. So 2r minus 1 into x times x will be 2r minus 1 x square, and this will again go, and 2 into this will be, I guess, 4r minus 2 times of x. 2 से multiply कर दिया इसको. So again I will subtract, this will go, and I'll get 4r minus 1 minus 4r minus 2. तो ये तो cancel हो जाएगा, but 2 minus 1 will be 1. So I'll get x plus 2. Now obviously x is also there, right? है ना? ठीक है. Now I will multiply by 1 because ये तो copy है, तो x plus 2, and there will be no remainder, right? Everything is gone, and हमें पता था because x plus 2 एक factor था तो there will be no remainder, but I was looking for the other 2 roots which will be given by this expression. That means अगर आप इसे फैक्टराइज करोगे तो you can write x plus 2 into x square plus 2r minus 1 x plus 1. This is what it means, right? So this is one of the roots. If you equate it to 0, अगर आप इसको 0 करोगे तो x minus 2 एक root है which was already being mentioned. So that is never an issue. Issue is to look for the other 2 roots from this. है ना? Now I have to look for the other 2 roots within this. है ना? This is the question here. है ना? तो इस पे फोकस करना है. Now what it is saying is, if the other 2 roots are real, what do we mean by real roots? Real roots means the discriminant has to be greater than or equal to 0. What is the discriminant? That means b square will be greater than or equal to 4ac, right? B square minus 4ac will be greater than or equal to 0. That is the meaning of discriminant. So b square, this is b, right? ax square plus bx plus c. ये format use होता है इसमें. So b square करोगे, that means 2r minus 1 का whole square will be greater than or equal to 4. A is 1, c is 1, right? So this is the condition where I am stuck. Now I will not solve it. Solving it is basically a foolish idea in this question. How will I proceed now? See, then the minimum possible non-negative. What is non-negative? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. If I put 0 here, will it be true? I will get, if I put r equal to 0, I'll get 1 square, that is 1, is greater than or equal to 4. No, it's false. If I put r equal to 1, again I will get 2 into 1 minus 1, that is 1 greater than equal to 4. Again it will fail. If I put r equal to 2, I'll get 3 ka square, which is 9, which is greater than 4 for sure. This becomes 2. So I can just put the values and I can observe कि जो minimum non-integer value आएगी r की, that will be 2. And I can mention it here. The answer of this question is 2. So long division method यहाँ पर एक use आया, and we have used other concepts as well. For example, the real roots के लिए discriminant has to be greater than equal to 0. So अच्छा layering वाला concept है, तो base concept long division है. If you know long division, you can just start moving your pen and you will be able to solve it. Now let's move on to the next concept. So concept number 9 is a concept of special equations. What is the concept of the special equations? Suppose if I give you an equation, 3x plus 4y is equal to, let's say 60. So this is my equation. And suppose I tell you to just get one of the solutions. X and y are, let's say x and y are given to as integers. Integers दिया या कुछ range दिए, positive integers भी आप मान सकते हो, मैं यहाँ integers मान के चल रहा हूँ. Now, if we get one solution of this equation, we can get all the solutions, or we can get the process or chain of how to capture all the solutions. That is the idea here, okay? That is the idea. If I get one solution, I will understand the process to get all the solutions. For example, pay attention. Suppose I put y is equal to 0, right? Suppose you put y equal to 0. So x will be coming out to be 20. You can clearly see, if you put y is equal to 0, now this is a very obvious solution. You'll get x equal to 20, right? You get, right? So suppose x and y, one of the solution x will be 20 and y will be 0 for sure. Now if you have to move on to the next solution, what you can do is obviously आप x and y non-negative integers है, ऐसा मान लेते हैं. These are non-negative integers. That means ये negative नहीं हो सकते और integer भी होंगे. तो you cannot go, y cannot be negative now, right? So I have to increase it, है ना? So if you increase it by the x का coefficient, if you increase it by 3, you will get 3 here. But then you have to decrease y by, then you have to decrease, okay, you have to increase it by 4, sorry. So y को मैंने increase करा 3 से, which is the coefficient of x. Now x has to be decreased by 4, जो कि y का coefficient है, but negative sign के साथ. अगर यहाँ plus 3 है, तो you have to do minus 4 here. You will see 16 and 3 is also one of the solutions. You can clearly check that. है ना? So 3 into 16 is 48, plus 4 into 3 is 12, 60. Similarly, you can proceed. Again, you can do a plus 3 here. You will get a 6. And again, you can do a minus 4 here. You will get a 12. 12 and 6 will also satisfy. Again, you can repeat the process. Plus 3, you will get a 9. You can do a minus 4, you will get an 8. Again, you do a minus 4, you will get a 4. Again, you do plus 3, you will get a 12. Again, you do a minus 4, you will get 0. Again, you do plus 3, you will get 15. And you will stop. So you can see, अगर non-negative integral solutions निकालने हैं, so you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 solutions. Right? So this is the process. ये जो इसमें navigation है, वो आपको आना चाहिए. If we catch on to one of the solutions, which you can do by hit and trial also, there are processes to get the first solution as well if the equation is complicated. So that is a different case study. But if we can find one solution, we can use this navigation technique and we have all the solutions in front of us. So this is the idea that we have to capture. Now let's do a question on it. Suppose if m and n are two positive integers, that means they can be 1, 2, 3 and so on, such that 7 times m plus 11 times n is given to me as 200. This is what is being mentioned. Now I just have to get one of the solutions. As soon as I get one of the solutions, I can use my navigation and I will see whatever I have to do. ठीक है, तो पहला सॉल्यूशन निकालने के लिए हम क्या करेंगे, एक बार वैल्यू डालते हैं. n को अगर मैं 1 डालूं, लेट्स पुट n इज इक्वल टू 1. आई कैन नॉट पुट 0 हियर, रिमेंबर, है ना, पॉजिटिव है या नॉन नेगेटिव नहीं है. इफ आई पुट n इक्वल टू 1, आई विल गेट 7m plus 11 is equal to 200. So 7m is I think 189 and m comes out to be 27. Yeah, it works. ये भी इंटीजर आ रहा है, ये भी इंटीजर है, right? So one of the solutions I can get by hit and trial. Now there are processes to do that as well, but ठीक है, because this is a very basic 7, 11, 200. These are some simpler numbers. If you're not working for one, you can try for 2, 3 and you will get your solution eventually. Because numbers are not so huge, so as to use some techniques here, right? So I can write m, I can write n. m मेरा 27 आया, n मेरा 1 आया. Now I will start my navigation. अब आपको अपना navigation start करना है. तो you increase it by 7. You increase it by 7 because you cannot decrease it, है ना, क्योंकि नेगेटिव हो जाएगा फिर. तो increase it by 7 and then decrease it by 11, right? So you'll get I think 16 here, you will get 8 here. Again you increase it by 7, I think you will get 8 plus 7, 15, and you decrease it by 11. You decrease it by 11. So you'll get I think 5 here, है ना, and that's it. If you further increase it by 7, इसको -11 करोगे तो नेगेटिव आ जाएगा, ये तो हो नहीं सकता. So I think we are getting 3 possibilities here, right? Now he is asking us something. What is he asking? वो भी देख लेते हैं. The minimum possible value of m plus n. तो m plus n को minimize करने के लिए बोल रहा है ना. So in each of the cases we'll see for the sum. So what is the sum here? 27 plus 1, the sum is 28 here. What is the sum here? 16 plus 8, the sum is 24 here, right? And what is the sum here? 15 plus 5, the sum is 20 here. So what is the minimum sum? Can I say 20 is the minimum sum? The answer will be 20 because the minimum of the three summations are getting to be 20 here, है ना? So this is an application of the special equations in the linear equation format where we find the first solution and we can go for the navigation. I hope this idea is clear. This was a beautiful one. Now let's move on to the next concept. So next concept is non-negative supremacy. Now what do you mean by non-negative supremacy? So there are some terms which will always be non-negative, right? So if you have any modulus being written like this, this will always be non-negative. This is a very important concept. Any modulus, it can have any expression inside of it, will always be greater than equal to 0. Now what is greater than equal to 0 called? This is called non-negative. इसको बुलाते हैं non-negative हमें ना, इसको बोलते non-negative है, right? Similarly, any of the square, suppose you put any square, suppose any term you put, let's say 2x plus 3 and you put a square here, right? Any square term, or you can even write x square, will always be greater than equal to 0, right? So any square term will always be greater than equal to 0. तो ये भी हमेशा non-negative होता है. This will also be again non-negative. Now how do we frame these questions? So these are the terms which have a non-negative supremacy. Non-negative means 0 आप हो सकते हो या फिर आप positive हो सकते हो. Negative कभी भी नहीं होगे, है ना? So this is why this concept is called non-negative supremacy. Now how do we make questions on this? We'll see in the next example. एक example discuss करते हैं and let's try to understand this beautiful idea in detail, right? Okay, so this is the question. Now the question is saying modulus of x plus 1 plus y plus 2 square is equal to 0. Now whenever the sum of some non-negative terms are given as 0, suppose there is a term, these many terms can be there, right? Now if all of them are non-negative, how can their sum be 0? Just imagine, how can their sum be 0? This is also greater than equal to 0, this is also greater than equal to 0, this is also greater than equal to 0. If they have been given equal to 0, that implies ये भी 0 होगा, ये भी 0 होगा, ये भी 0 होगा. So this is the same concept being used here. We know the modulus function is always greater than equal to 0 and square term is also greater than equal to 0. Only two terms are being given here, right? It can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5, provided all of them has to be greater than equal to 0. So a modulus is always greater than equal to 0. This is the concept. And square term, this is square term, will always be non-negative. Now how can their sum be equal to 0? That means both of them has to be 0. So how do we solve this? Modulus of x plus 1 को भी 0 कर दो and y plus 2 square whole square has to be 0 as well. And then we can proceed with the solution of this question, right? So if I do this equal to 0, the x plus 1 को 0 कर देते हैं, तो x I think I will get -1 and y plus 2 को 0 होना चाहिए, तो y I will get -2. So these are the values I get. Now what he is saying me? He is saying ax minus 3ay is equal to 1. So if I take it here, I put the value of x as -1, a into -1 minus 3a, y is -2. You have to be careful here, right? So I'll get minus a and this is plus 6a. Plus 6a is equal to 1. That means 5a comes equal to be 1 and a comes equal to be 1 by 5. So I can take the answer to be option A. Now this is again an application of sum of non-negative terms equal to 0. That means each of the term will be 0. So these are some popular examples. You have to know these tricks and concepts so as to score well. Let us now move on to our next concept. The next concept is about the recurrence relation. So suppose x1, that is the first term of a series, is given as -1. So you have to, basically the concept is you have to make the series by value putting and then you have to find out the relation. So see, this is the base relation being mentioned to you. Okay, so what you have to do here is first term is -1, है ना? तो अब आप क्या करो, इसमें m को, suppose if I put m is equal to 1 here, what I will get? और लेट्स डिराइव दिस फॉर पॉजिटिव इंटीजर m, ऐसा मान लो दे रखा है, तो मैं इस वाले पे फोकस करता हूं, तो xm प्लस 1 विल बी इक्वल टू xm minus m plus 1, right? Now I'll keep on putting the values here. So x1 is minus 1, I'll get x2, I'll get x3, I'll get x4 and so on. And then I will try to make some relation. So this is the pattern which is really important, recurrence relation. So अगर इसमें m को मैंने 1 डाला तो it becomes x2 is equal to x1 which is minus 1 minus m is 1, 1 plus 1. So I think you'll get minus 3. So this is the second term which I am getting. है ना? Suppose मैंने m को 2 डाला इसमें, so you have to keep on putting the values here and keep on deriving the values here. And then you can see and think about the relation that you are making. है ना? तो m को 2 डालेंगे यहाँ पर, तो x3 is equal to x2 which is minus 3 minus 2 plus 1. I think minus 3 will be minus 6. This is the next term I will get. है ना? And then similarly m को 3 हम डालेंगे इसमें. So if I put m equal to 3 here, I will get x4 is equal to x3 which is minus 6 minus 3 plus 1. So this will be I think minus 10, right? And you can move on, you can get the fifth one is, and you can clearly see यहाँ difference minus 2 का है, then minus 3 का है. So first level की AP है, first level difference में AP है यहाँ पर. And this is what, and you can work it out and you can clear the solution here, right? I just want you to find the numbers. You put m equal to 4, you will get x5 is equal to x4 which is minus 10 minus 4 plus 1 that is 5, that is minus 15. ना? You can clearly see the pattern being observed here. minus 2 का gap है, फिर minus 3 हो रहा है, फिर minus 4 हो रहा है, फिर minus 5 हो रहा है. तो डिफरेंस में AP है यहाँ पर, और डिफरेंस में इंक्रीमेंटल AP नहीं है, डिफरेंस में एक minus 1 का इंक्रीमेंटल, एंड यू कैन सॉल्व एंड रिजॉल्व दिस सीरीज, राइट? तो फर्स्ट लेवल डिफरेंस में इंक्रीमेंटल आपका इंक्रीजन हो रहा है, +1 minus 1 minus 2 then minus 3 then minus 4, and you can get the general term and you can solve this series. But the idea is to get the terms here. Let us do one question to resolve this. How do we solve this? Okay, the question is like this. So the sequence is given to you in which the first term is 0. x1 is given to you as 0. This is being mentioned here. And xn plus 1 is given to you as xn plus 1 plus twice of under root of 1 plus xn. And this is true for n equal to 1, 2, dot, dot, dot. You have to find x31, which is a huge value. Now, I cannot traverse till 31 directly. कि मैं x1 निकाल रहा हूँ, x2. So, I will have to make some pattern or some series like the one I did in the previous case. So, let's start from the basics. Let's put n equal to 1 in this. And let's try to get x2. That will be x1 plus 1 plus twice of under root of 1 plus x1. Now x1 is 0, so this will go, this will go. I think 1 plus 2 ये 3 आ जाएगा. This will be 3. So x2 comes out to be 3. Then I can put n equal to 2 here. So basically value putting करनी है, terms निकालना है, and then we can see क्या relation आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है. जब आप n को 2 डालोगे तो x3 आ जाएगा. That will be x2 which is 3 plus 1 plus twice of 1 plus x2 which is again 3. So this is under root 4, that is 2. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. This comes out to be 8. x3 comes out to be 8 here, hai na? Then n equal to 3. I am not able to see any pattern now. Let's move ahead. If I put n equal to 3 here, I will get x4 is equal to x3, that is 8 plus 1 plus twice of 1 plus 8. Hai na? This is 9. Under root of 9 is 3. 2 into 3 is 6 and 9, 15. I will get 15. Hai na? So x4 comes out to be 15. Now I have to somehow get x31. Is it possible? Now you have to observe these numbers. या तो आप difference लो, but difference लेने से better यहाँ पर एक relation बन रहा है. You can directly crack this question if you observe the relation. Relation क्या बन रहा है? These all of these numbers 3, 8, 15 are very close to a perfect square. Are you able to observe this? So you can write this as 16 minus 1, 4 square minus 1. Perfect square से एक एक कम होके लिखा हुआ है ना ये. तो ये तो डायरेक्ट पैटर्न बन रहा है, यहाँ डिफरेंस लेने की जरूरत नहीं है आपको. एंड व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज 3 स्क्वायर माइनस 1, दिस इज 2 स्क्वायर माइनस 1 एंड दिस इज 1 स्क्वायर माइनस 1. सो व्हाट इज x31? तो जो भी इंडेक्स है उसका स्क्वायर में से -1 करना है. सो व्हाट विल बी x31? दिस विल बी 31 स्क्वायर माइनस 1. एंड व्हाट इज 31 स्क्वायर? 961. सो 961 minus 1 will be 960 will be the answer of this question. So answer of this question will be 960. I hope the recurrence relation की जो working है, जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, हाउ डू वी रिजॉल्व इट, शुड बी क्लियर टू यू, शुड बी डेफिनेटली क्लियर बाय यू. to this example. Now let's move on to the next concept. अब अगले concept पे चलते हैं. Okay, the next concept is factor theory, which is a part of number system. इसमें भी हम reverse engineering करेंगे. We'll do reverse engineering in factor theory, right? How does it work? Suppose there is a number. Suppose you take a random number. Let's say 2 की power 2 and 3 की power 3. This is the prime factorization of that number. Assume that. So what you will do? You will increase it by 1 to get the number of factors, and again you will increase it by 1, so you'll get 3, 2 plus 1 is 3, and 3 plus 1 is 4, so you'll get this number will be having 12 factors. This number will be having 12 factors. Now the idea is number of factors to prime factorization से आप निकाल सकते हो, but what if I have to go reverse? What if I have to go reverse? What is the idea behind it? Suppose I have been mentioned कि किसी number के 12 factors हैं, what all cases I can map, है ना? That is the important point. Suppose I have been mentioned किसी नंबर के 12 फैक्टर्स हैं, सो आई विल नाउ हैव टू फैक्टराइज इट फर्स्ट एंड देन -1 करके पावर्स को देख सकता हूं मैं ना. बेस हमें नहीं पता, बेस विल डिपेंड ऑन द क्वेश्चन. सो 12 फैक्टर्स को आई कैन कीप इट 12 ओनली. सो द प्राइम फैक्टराइजेशन कैन बी p की पावर 11 -1 करके. दिस कैन बी वन ऑफ द फॉर्मेट दैट वर्क्स, है ना. और 12 को आई कैन ऑल्सो डू इट इन 6 into 2. सो इसको एक कम करो p की पावर 5 और इसको भी एक कम करो q की पावर 1. दिस फॉर्मेट कैन ऑल्सो वर्क. P and Q are primes and you can choose any primes, or you can also go for 3 into 4 factorization. अगर आप 3 into 4 factorization में जाते हो तो 3 को एक कम करिए p का स्क्वायर और इसको एक कम करिए q का क्यूब. ये फॉर्मेट भी काम करेगा. So these all formats you should know how do we find out, and then you can put the prime numbers here depending on the process and the demand of the question. वो important नहीं है इतना. important ये है कि once we know the total number of factors, we can reverse engineering to the factorization part, and then we can do -1 to get the powers. Base depends on the question. Base will be prime number for sure. I hope this concept of reverse engineering in the factor theory is clear to you. So this is again a beautiful idea. Now let's try to understand it using a question. तो question करते हैं, वहां से समझ में आएगा, right? So he's saying the number of positive integers less than 50. This is critical, right? It has to be positive integers. That means 1 से बड़ा ही होना चाहिए, 1 या 1 के बराबर. So the number has to be less than 50, strictly less than 50, having exactly 2 distinct factors other than 1 in itself. So there are 2 other different factors. 1 भी है, एक number भी है और 2 factors, यानी total factors 4 हो जाएंगे. So total factors here are 4. I hope it is clear. Total factors 4 होंगे. अब total factors 4 होंगे तो 4 को एक कम, 4 का फैक्टराइजेशन आप 4 ही कर लो, 4 into 1, है ना. So case 1 can be, we can factorize it as 4 only, right? And we can do a -1 to get a power of 3, p cube format. This format will work, है ना. Now how many numbers of p cube format will be less than 50? Let's put the smallest prime number, 2 cube. This will work. This is 8, है ना. This is less than 50. 3 cube will also work. This is 27, less than 50. But 5 cube is 125, and this will not work, and so on. So only 2 numbers we'll be getting from here, which is 8 and 27. Although we are not concerned about the actual numbers, but this format also works, है ना. तो इस वाले केस से तो हमारे को ये समझ में आ गया कि 2 नंबर I am able to find out, 8 and 27. Now is there any other format I can look for? So 4 can also be factorized as 2 into 2. And if I reduce the power, if I do -1, I can get a power 1 here and a power 1 here. So p की power 1 into q की power 1 format will also work. I hope you are able to see this and appreciate this designing part, right? Now let's put some prime numbers in the place of p and q, and let's try to see which all numbers are less than 50. Suppose I put p is equal to 2 and q is equal to 3. 2 into 3 will be 6. Yeah, it's less than 50. 2 into 5 will also work. 2 into 7, 2 into 11 will also work. 2 into 13 will also work. 26 is less than 50. 2 into 17 will also work. 2 into 19 will also work. And 2 into 23 will also work. Next prime is 29, which will, I think, not work in our favor. So I'll get 8 values, 8 numbers from here. These all numbers will be having 4 factors for sure, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. यहाँ पर count आया 8. यहाँ पर count आया था 2, right? Now, is there any other format in this? Obviously. भाई p पे 2 का कॉपीराइट थोड़ी है, p 3 भी तो हो सकता है. What if I put p is equal to 3? Then q cannot be 2 because वो नंबर हमने ले लिए. So q can be 5. 3 into 5 can be a format. Or 3 into 7 is also less than, I think, 50. And 3 into 11 as well. And 3 into 13 as well. but 3 into 17 will be 51 है ना. So I think I will get 4 from this format. I will get 4 numbers from this format. What if I start from 5? If I do 5 into 2, that is being taken care of. 5 into 3 भी हो गया, 5 into 7, but 5 into 11 फिर बड़ा हो जाएगा ना, तो एक नंबर आएगा यहाँ से ना. And then 7 into 11 तो काम ही नहीं करेगा, right? So if I add all of them, so I'll get 1 plus 8 plus 4 is 12, 13, 15. So answer of this question should be 15 such numbers. And you can definitely get those numbers as well. Say 35, 15, 6, 10, 14. But that is not the main idea. वो नहीं निकालना है. यहाँ पास बस number of positive integers which are less than 50 who will have 4 factors पूछा है. तो factor theory, reverse engineering concept is really important. I hope that is clear to you and you will be able to execute it well. Now let's move on to the next concept. Next concept is removal and replacement. Now how does this concept work is, so suppose you have a beaker having 100-liter milk. Okay. Now what you are doing, so it is filled and you have 100-liter milk. Now you take a small cup and you remove 10 liter of the solution first, or mixture first, then whatever, and then you add 10 liters of water. Suppose you keep on doing this, and again you do the same thing, and again and again and again and again you are repeating this. So आप इसमें से 10 liter solution का निकालोगे, जो कि पहले केस में तो milk ही आएगा because this was pure milk, and then you will keep on adding 10 liter of water. Now what is the formula here is, if you have to get the final what are you adding? You are adding water. So you can apply the formula for milk. If you have to get the final quantity of milk, you can use this relation. So I'm again not doing the derivation part, नहीं कर रहे हैं. We are focusing more on the application part, है ना? So it will be equal to initial milk 1 minus quantity removed upon total solution raised to power n. So this is the setup that we have to remember. Remember that if we are adding water continuously, we have to apply the formula for milk. Formula will not work for water. Formula will work for milk, which is not being added. This is the key point. And then you can say, जो milk बचा, final quantity of milk will be equal to initial milk 1 minus quantity removed. Quantity removed will be 10 here. Total solution will always be 100 because you are removing 10 and adding 10. So ये 10 हो जाएगा, ये 100 हो जाएगा. N is the number of iterations. N means कितनी बार आप ये process को कर रहे हो. Number of iterations is called N, right? So this is the setup. Now it is also not important कि शुरू में सारा milk ही हो. आप इस वाली stage से भी चालू कर सकते हो. And then also you can apply the formula. That's fine. Right? That will work perfectly fine. So एक इसका example करते हैं just to solidify this concept as well, right? So example is, a jar contains a mixture of 175 ml water and 700 ml alcohol. That means the total is 875. Total will always be 875 क्योंकि आप कुछ निकालोगे और उतना ही डालोगे आप, है ना? ठीक है, this ये मैंने लिख लिया. So initially what I have is, I have water as 175 ml and alcohol as 700, right? Gopal takes 10% of the mixture. That means 87.5 ml आप निकालोगे, but ठीक है अपन लिखते नहीं है. आप 10% इसका you will extract and you will add 10% of the water, right? That means 87.5 आप निकालोगे solution को और 87.5 ही water डालोगे. But we are not concerned about 87.5. It will not will play any major role. Why? I will tell you. The process is repeated once again. That means 2 times हो गया ना. 2 times हो गया total process, है ना. कई लोग इस step को भी पढ़ने में गलती कर देते हैं, तो be careful. Okay, now we can apply, we are adding water, that means we can apply the formula for alcohol. So what I will do, final alcohol will be equal to initial alcohol. How much is the initial alcohol? That is 700. 1 minus, now quantity removed is 87.5 and the total solution is 875. But I can directly write 1 by 10 here because 10% अगर आप निकाल रहे हो तो उसका fraction 1 by 10 ही होता है. तो आप 1 by 10 ही लिख सकते हो डायरेक्ट, है ना? You can, है ना? And you are repeating it repeating it once. After doing it once, you are repeating it once. That means total you have done it 2 times. This is a critical step. A lot of people will make mistake here. Read the questions very carefully. So alcohol मुझे मिल जाएगा 700. 1 minus 1 by 10 कितना होता है? 9 by 10 into 9 by 10 into 9 by 10, है ना? So if this cancels, I will get 81 into 7. This is what I will get, है ना? If I do 81 into 7, I'll get 567 and the unit has to be ml here. 567 ml. I hope I am showing all the steps and it should be clear to you. Now, total will always be 875. So how much will be the water? How much will be the water? Can I get the water? So what I will do 875 में से 567 हटा देते हैं तो water मिल जाएगा, right? So if I get the water, I will get 308 ml as the water because total will always be 875. ये तो fix है. Now this is the water. Out of this, अब मुझे बताना है the percentage of water in the mixture now, है ना? तो I can go for it. 308 upon 875 into 100, है ना? Now you can clearly see कि अगर आप इसका 33% निकालोगे, अगर आप इसका 1/3 निकालोगे 875 को तो कितना आएगा ना? If you just go for it, just out of curiosity अगर आप करोगे तो you'll get 291 something. But the numerator is more than that. मतलब 33.33%, 1/3 से तो ज़्यादा आंसर आएगा. So there is only one option which is more than 33.33. That is 35% के आसपास आ रहा होगा ये. So you can directly tick the answer to be 35.2% is the final weightage of the water in your mixture. So this is a concept based on removal and replacement which is a part of mixtures and alligation. I hope ये clear हो गया होगा और समझ में आ गया होगा. Now let's move on to the next concept. Next concept is merging the ratios. Now this is again a very easy concept. Suppose A is to B आपको दे रखा है suppose 4:7 and B is to C आपको दे रखा है let's say 5:3 and you have to somehow find A is to B is to C. आपको merge करना है ratios को, है ना? So one of the approach can be आप ऐसे लिख सकते हो कि A upon B is 4/7, है ना? And B upon C is 5/3. Now just look at the common part. Which is the part which is common? You can clearly see B is the part which is common in both the ratios. दिख रहा होगा आपको B is the common part. Now if B is the common part, B has 7 parts here and B has 5 parts here. So what is the LCM of 7 and 5? 35. Let's make B equal to 35 in both the ratios. That is the concept. तो इसको 35 बनाओगे तो I will multiply and divide it by 5. It comes out to be 20/35. Similarly, I can also make it 35 here. I will multiply and divide it by 7. यहाँ 7 से करना पड़ेगा. So this comes out to be 35/21. Now B has been 35 in both the ratios. I have made B equal to 35 in both the ratios. Now it is sorted. Now how many parts of A, how many parts of B, how many parts of C? So I can say A के 20 parts है, तो B के 35 parts है और C के 21 parts है. And I'll get the merged ratio like this. I hope it is clear. Now this is the conventional approach. ये तो थोड़ी conventional approach हो गई. You can also go by a direct approach here. You can see कि जो भी common है आप उसे बीच में रख लो. You can also, there are numerous tricks here as well. And the first ratio you can slot in the first line. This is 4, this is 7. And the second ratio you can slot in the second line. Like that. This is a blank, this is a blank. Now what is being blank आप उसे neighboring value से fill कर दो. तो ये blank रह गया तो आप इसे 7 से fill कर दो इसके पड़ोसी से, और ये blank रह गया तो आप इसे 5 से fill कर दो. एंड अब column wise आप product कर लो. अब column wise आप product कर लो तो 4 into 5 will be 20, 7 into 5 will be 35 and 7 into 3 will be 21, and this is the merged ratio. Now you can get a question directly on the concept of merging. Let us look at an example. So he's saying A, B, C are 3 positive integers such that A and B are in the ratio 3:4. Let's use our technique now directly. A and B are in the ratio 3:4. I will write 3 here, I will write B here. First slot, first line, done and dusted. And B and C are in the ratio 2:1. So in the second slot, I will put 2:1 here. Right? And I'll fill these slots by the neighboring value 4, और इसको 2 से fill कर दोगे. And I will multiply them column wise to get my merged ratio. That means 3 into 2 will be 6. This will be 8. This will be 4. Now sometimes what will happen is इसमें और cancel हो रहा होगा तो आप कर देना 2 से cancel. So we'll get 3:4:2. This is the merged ratio, है ना? So we have the final merged ratio with us. That is 3:4:2. Now which of the following is a possible value of A plus B plus C? Now these are all integers, remember that. So I can say A can be 3k, you know, 3 into something, some constant, and B can be 4k, and C can be 2k. I can very well assume that. And if I put these values here, if I put 3k plus 4k plus 2k, what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get 9k. That means my option has to be a multiple of 9. This means multiple of 9. Now which of the options is a multiple of 9? 9 की टेबल का नंबर होना चाहिए. क्या 2019 से डिवाइड होता है? No, because the sum of the digits is not divisible by 9, है ना? अगर ये नंबर बड़ा भी होता तो we could have directly checked, but this is not the option. If I do 2 plus 0 plus 5, again you are not getting sum is 7, not divisible by 9. No. But 2 plus 0 plus 7 is 9, which is divisible by 9. So this is the correct option. This is again not divisible by 9. So I have to get an option which is in the table of 9 for sure. And there is, I think, only one option, that is 207. Let's now move on to the next concept. The next concept is modulus as distance. This is a very, very crucial one. So what does it say? Suppose you have a setup like this. Suppose you have a number line like this. And suppose there is a function given to you. It's an application of modulus as distance basically. Suppose this is a point, let's say this is a point 2. Suppose this is a point, let's say, take any point, let's take 5 and let's take a point 6 here, right? Now, we have a function something like this, fx is equal to modulus of x minus 2 plus modulus of x minus 5 plus modulus of x minus 6. There can be 2 modulus, 3 modulus, 4 modulus, any sort of setups can be asked there. These are like very popular questions. Yeah? Now what does this means, x minus 2? This means distance of x from point 2. This means distance of x of point x from point 2 on number line. You know? Similarly, distance of x from point 5 and distance of x from point 6. For example, if I put x is equal to, let's take an example. If I put x equal to, let's say 3. Now what is the distance of 3 from 2? This will be 1. What is the distance of 3.5? It will be 2. And what is the distance of 3 from 6? It will be 3. So 1 plus 2 plus 3, you will be getting 6. आप देखो, x को आप 3 डालोगे तो 6 आ जाएगा ना. This comes out to be 1. 3 minus 5 minus 2 का modulus is 2 and 3 minus 6 minus 3 का modulus is 6. 6 answer आ जाएगा, right? So that means from any point, from a free floating point, if we can measure the distance from 2, we can measure the distance from 5, we can measure the distance from 6. If we add the sum of all the distances, we'll get the value of this function. This is the concept called modulus as distance. Now what if I have to minimize this distance, right? What if I have to get minimum of fx? If you have to minimize this, you will have to stand at the median value. Always stand at the median value. Median तो समझते हो ना, middle most value. अगर सारे critical points को number lines में अगर आप ascending order में जमाओगे, जैसे critical points are 2, 5 and 6 here. What is the median of 2, 5 and 6? Suppose ये data आपको दिया हुआ है 2, 5, 6. So the median has to be 5. That means you have to stand at 5. X will be 5 if you have to minimize this function. Definitely 5 पे minimum आने वाला है ना. Always stand at the median value है ना. This is the concept. This is a very important concept है ना. So अगर मान लो मुझे इसकी minimum value निकालनी है तो मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ आपको, आप x equal to 5 डाल दो है ना. If you put x equal to 5, what all values you are gonna get? You will get this distance to be, I guess, 3. You will get this distance to be, I guess, 2. And you will get this distance to be, this distance will be 3, this distance will be 2. And, okay, this is a error from my side. This distance will be 3. From 5, there will be no distance. And this distance will be 1. So the value will only be 3 plus 1, right? अगर आप x को 5 डालोगे, if you stand at 5, this distance 5 from 2 will be 3, right? 5 from 5 will be 0 and 5 from 6 will be 1. So the minimum value of the function will be 4. When x equal to 5. You can verify this. तो median value पे हमेशा जाके आपको बैठ जाना है. अगर आप median value पे जाके बैठ जाओगे तो automatically function minimize हो जाएगा. This is the concept. Now let's apply this concept in a question. तो थोड़ा और solid हो जाएगा ये concept. Let's move to the question now. The question is, you have to minimize, you have to minimize fx, right? But you have to make sure this looks more fancy first. So you should know कि modulus of x and modulus of minus x are same. Doesn't matter, right? So you can multiply it by a minus 1. This everything inside you can multiply it by minus 1. तो इसको थोड़ा ऐसे लिख लेते हैं, right? Will not matter. And similarly इसको आप x plus 2 लिख लो. And इसको भी आप minus 1 से multiply कर दो. Just to get the term x here, right? Like this. Now you will see कि सर यहाँ तो minus था हर जगह बीच में. And this was the reference. Anything after minus is the reference or the critical point. But what if I get a plus here? Then you have to do some manipulation. तो आपको थोड़ा सा मैनिपुलेशन करना पड़ेगा कि आप करो -2 ऐसा करना पड़ेगा. दिस इज द नीड ऑफ द आर. एंड देन यू कैन डू -5. सो व्हाट आर द क्रिटिकल पॉइंट्स हियर? इफ आई ड्रॉ द लाइन हियर, व्हाट ऑल क्रिटिकल पॉइंट्स आई एम गेटिंग? सो आई एम गेटिंग क्रिटिकल पॉइंट्स एज -2, which is the smallest one. Then one of the critical point is 3 and one of the critical point is 5. These are the 3 critical points I am getting. Now if I have to minimize this, what have I told you कि ये जो critical points आ रहे हैं, जो references आ रहे हैं, instead इनके median पे जाके खड़े हो जाओ. So let's arrange them in the ascending order. -2, 3, 5. This will be the ascending order. Agreed? So what is the median? Median is the middlemost value. So middlemost value will be 3. So that means you have to stand at 3 or x will be 3, right? If I put x equal to 3, what all distances I will get? Have a look. अगर मान लो 3 पे खड़े हो गए तो 3 से ये वाला डिस्टेंस कितना आएगा? This is I think 5 है ना, -2 and 3. 3 minus -2 will be 5. This distance will be 5. And what will be this distance? This distance will be 2 I guess. And 3 से 3 का तो कोई डिस्टेंस होगा नहीं, that will be 0. So what I will get, or you can put x equal to 3 here as well, right? So answer will be 5 plus 0 plus 2, that is 7 will be the minimum distance when x equal to 3. But he is not asking कब, बट उसके बिना आप निकाल नहीं पाओगे. यू विल पुट द आंसर टू बी 7 हियर, है ना. आंसर तो 7 आएगा. ये तो पूछ नहीं रहा कि कौन से वाले x पे आएगा, ये कहां पर हमें खड़ा होना पड़ेगा. एंड देयर कैन बी वन मोर अप्रोच व्हाट यू कैन गो फॉर. So this median wala concept help us to get this question directly. Now there can be 4 references, there can be 5 references, there can be 6 references. Whatever is the median coming out to be. Suppose यहाँ पर अगर 4 होते, suppose there यहाँ पर 4 होते, -2, 3, let's say 5 and let's say 10 ऐसा होता suppose, या 12 ऐसा होता, right? Suppose. Now you can be anywhere in this range. So answer क्या होता? 3 to 5 वाली रेंज में आप कोई सी भी वैल्यू डाल दो. अगर इवन नंबर ऑफ रेफरेंसेस हैं तो मीडियन एक रेंज आएगी, है ना. मीडियन ऐसा नहीं कि आप इन दोनों के एवरेज निकाल के बोल दो 4 आ गया मीडियन. नो, मीडियन इज द मिडिल में जो रेंज आएगी. बट अगर ऑड नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स है तो मीडियन क्या आएगा, जो बीच में है वो आ जाएगा ना. सो रिमेंबर दिस कॉन्सेप्ट केयरफुली, इसमें गलती हो सकती है. सो ऑब्वियसली हाँ, यू कैन पुट x इक्वल टू 3 हेयर एज वेल. आप इसमें 3 डालोगे, so, या यहाँ भी डाल सकते हो. दिस विल बी 0 इफ यू पुट 3, 2 plus 3 5. इफ यू पुट 3, 5 minus 2 2, and directly also you can come here. So I hope this concept is clear. Now you can make a lot of questions on this when there are 3 modulus, when sometimes there are 2 modulus, sometimes there are maybe 5 modulus. तो इसमें even odd terms वाला concept चलेगा. अगर references odd है, if there are odd references, you'll get one median, you'll get one middle value basically. वहां पर जाके आप खड़े हो जाओ and that is done and dusted. But if the references are even, if the number of references अगर even number of references है, तो बीच में जो 2 मिडिल टर्म आएंगे उसके बीच में आप कहीं भी जा सकते हो, इंक्लूडिंग द एंड पॉइंट्स. सो यू कैन ऑपरेट इन दिस रेंज 3 to 5. You can put 3.1, you can sit at 3, you can sit at 4, you can sit at 4.1, you can sit at 4.7, you can even sit at 5. It will always work. I hope these concepts are clear and you have had a great time. Okay, it is also very important right now to start giving mocks and takes mocks seriously. A lot of students will do what mistake they will do is they will not take the mocks seriously. Mocks को seriously नहीं लेते हैं. So it is very important कि you focus on the mocks. You can go to our mock portal rodha.mocks.co.in and you have free access to all users. What you can do कि अरिथमेटिक का मान लीजिए आपको एक टेस्ट देना है तो आप एक टेस्ट अरिथमेटिक का यहाँ से भी दे सकते हो. क्वांट बेस्ड पजल्स, वेन डायग्राम, नंबर सिस्टम, RC, VA. So even if you want to explore and you want to give the test seriously, just go on to this portal and make a habit of writing mocks. Because बहुत बच्चे गलती क्या करते हैं ना, mocks को they will not take seriously. Now it is a very integral part of preparation. Because today we discussed a lot of important concepts. Now how will you make them better? By applying them in the mocks. Definitely when you give sufficient amount of mocks, ये कहीं ना कहीं इसकी application आने वाली है. और जैसे जैसे application आएगी ये और better होते जाएंगे, right? So these mocks are closest to Quant. तो आप कैट जैसे अगर मॉक्स देना चाहते हैं तो मिनी मॉक्स में आप जाइए. दीज आर द मॉक्स, mocks.rodha.co.in. दिस इज हाईली रिकमेंडेबल. एंड इफ यू वांट टू बाय आवर मॉक्स एज वेल, यू कैन गेट फ्लैट 26% ऑफ. कैट 2025 में अगर 95% से ज़्यादा है, 90% प्लस है 10th 11th में IIT, NIT, NLU ऑल्सो. So again you can visit our website rodha.co.in and you can claim your scholarship as well on the CAT 26 packages. So again I will highlight, ये सारे concepts relevant जब ही होंगे जब आप इन्हें time bound manner में, what is important is time bound manner, right? Time based practice, ये बहुत जरूरी है. And जो real exam की feeling आती है that can only happen in the mocks. So that's why mocks is very important. And if you want to buy our courses as well, so R7 batch is basically basic to advanced batch जिसमें काफी detail में in depth में हम तैयारी कराएंगे. So DLR is taken by Swapnil sir, QA is taken by Ravi sir, and DLR is also taken by Apuru sir, right? And VRC is taken by Brijesh sir. This batch is already running. You can get the recordings and also the live classes. Then we have an R8 batch. This is a fast paced batch. थोड़ा सा fast pace है, and it's a morning batch. Again, VRC will be taken by Nikita ma'am and KD sir, LRDI by Ravi sir and Apuru sir, and Quants by Swapnil sir and Ravi sir. So brilliant, the best faculties ever. और अगर आपको एक फास्ट पेस में अच्छे से कैट को कवर करना है, all the things included, this can be the solution. And if you want to take a crash course on which classes are starting from 22nd of July, so you can take this crash course, right? इसमें VRC का concept capsule भी है और QA का concept capsule भी है. So both the concept capsules are also included in this course, and the classes will begin on 22nd of July. And this is the price and all these features, okay? Complete video solutions, 30 CAT के mocks आपको मिल जाएंगे, which you can individually avail as well. 105 sectionals मिल जाएंगे, all the recordings, live class syllabus, you have CAT, SNAP and Maths ZAT के boosters, Quant का bridge course मिल जाएगा अगर आपको foundation week है तो, पंचायत सेशंस मिल जाएंगे, डाउट बड़ी ऐप मिल जाएगा. तो ऑल इन ऑल एवरीथिंग इज इंक्लूडेड इन दिस कोर्स, राइट? एंड इसमें बोनस चीज है कि VRC एंड QA का कॉन्सेप्ट कैप्सूल भी है जिससे आप रिवाइज भी इफेक्टिवली कर सकते हो. And last but not the least, we have our Quant concept capsule being launched. It's basically very crisp. ये काफ़ी crisp videos हैं, काफ़ी relevant हैं, आपको बहुत relevant लगेंगे, and revision oriented है ना, तो revision में आपको बहुत help करेंगे है ना. So if you want to revise or important ideas कि यार इससे suppose I am not able to even finish a topic, I don't have sufficient time, मुझे revise करना है अच्छे से वो, so you can use these 50 hours का absolute best of the best videos. This is recorded by me. आप फंडामेंटल्स, एप्लीकेशन, एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड आपको बिल्कुल हेल्प करेगा. एंड इट इज इंक्लूडेड इन ऑल द कैट कोर्सेज. अगर आप कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव लोगे, इंडिविजुअल लोगे, मॉक्स लोगे, सब में आपको मिल जाएगा. सो दिस कुड बी अ गेम चेंजर इन योर प्रिपरेशन. इन जस्ट द मैनर इन दिस वीडियो आई डिपिक्टेड की कॉन्सेप्ट एंड देन एप्लीकेशन, कॉन्सेप्ट देन एप्लीकेशन. दिस इज वॉट वी हैव डन यूनिट वाइज एंड टॉपिक वाइज. तो सारे टॉपिक्स के जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट हैं, बी कैट, जैट एंड मैथ्स एंड ऐप, सब कुछ इसमें इंक्लूडेड है. ऑल इन ऑल इट्स अ गेम चेंजर. And I hope ये वीडियो में आपको मजा आया होगा. And thank you very much. And this is Sanchit sir signing off. Thank you.